up there, ready for Scott to say something about FNAF Fortnite. That is going to be my genuine reaction to Scott Cawthon announcing FNAF and Fortnite. My OBS just crashed.
No.
Oh, nope, we're good. Never mind. I lied.
You're a liar.
Ready?
Is this longer or shorter than the original interview?
Oh, not F11. It is shorter. Half an hour shorter.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then. It's exactly the same length if you ask that one guy who's reacting to it.
Exactly the same length. What's it called? I will say, really quickly, I've heard that he got a better microphone.
Scott?
And frankly, that disappoints me.
Scott got a better microphone?
Part of the charm of that interview was it sounds like you just called him on a random day and just started asking him questions.
Why did he get a better... No, I guess that explains the high definition render.
I'm gonna be honest, so far, from my understanding, so far, I prefer this.
Yes, I vastly prefer the aesthetic of the first
because
interview.
Not only is it like, oh, it's FNAF World with all the his like aesthetic with all the desk stuff, and then he's got his big chair. And then we got I don't hate this.
Anim dude is not pleasant.
He looks swole. It's Fury's Rage. It's Fury's Rage, Anim dude.
But there's something I've heard about the interview that I desperately want to discuss, so we should get there.
All right, let's just no more dilly-dallying.
Hi. Who? I'm a licensed dermatologist.
Scott, tell me what's in the box.
I think.
Oh, what's up? Actually, that's wrong.
I will give this as
what's good, man?
As my gift to the fan base on this 10th anniversary. What's in the box is.
He's not gonna answer that.
He's not gonna answer that.
Aww. Hi, Mabel.
Yeah, she's the
it's only marginally better.
Okay, it's not a disaster.
It's fine enough.
Not yet.
August the 5th, which means if you've been looking
no, it's not.
Wait, hold.
This was recorded before the schedule was changed.
Buddy. Wrong day. 2, actually, that's wrong. You're gonna have a fucking. That's gonna be fun. I can tell.
Oh, I'm off Tuesday, off work, so I can watch that.
I don't have a job anymore. I got fired. Actually, that's wrong. If you ever need a guy to like cut down VODs into videos, hire them, pay them. Let me know. I'm poor.
Yeah, we traded.
Chicago rent is expensive.
We traded. I got it.
Wait, hold on, Chase. You're not on my You're not on my stream.
What?
You're not on my stream. Speak.
Oh my god! Then sitting here having a conversation with a brick wall. Reminds me of Thursday.
Fuck off. Like, you didn't have a conversation with that. You had a face-to-face makeout sesh with that thing.
No, we were an inch apart.
For real though, I'm a professionally certified video editor in Premiere Pro. If you need anybody, hit me up.
But to explain the brick wall joke, I totaled my car on Thursday.
Yeah, Chase decided he didn't like his car anymore.
The brick wall. I stopped right before the brick wall.
You were looking longingly into its eyes.
But it wasn't meant to be.
Oh, you moved into a new place? Where do you live now? Tell me your home address and your social security number.
Better yet, just talk about directions to get to your house, and then I'll hop into your stream while you're talking.
And then also, Look, okay, maybe Chase, you shouldn't go anywhere, I don't think. Alright. Are we ready to continue?
Yeah.
What the official Twitter has been saying, it's the interview.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Dawko, good to see you again.
Yeah, it's 6 years since the last interview.
5.
Which is crazy. A lot of things have been happening since then, so let's go back a little bit. So the interview was August 2018. So after that, we got Help Wanted, Special Delivery, Security Breach, Help Wanted 2, Ruin DLC. So there's a lot going on. And of course, the future
Why did
games
you
as
put them in
well.
that order?
Yesterday,
No
Steel
idea.
has announced
Taco?
something. I don't know what it is yet because we're recording this, a couple of months before. But guys, whatever it was, I hope you're very excited for
Yeah.
it. Future Dorco.
Would be nice
That
to know.
hasn't happened yet.
There's so much stuff to look forward to, and it's really cool that you've done of exciting things for the 10-year anniversary. We've never seen something like this before. 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's, which is it's pretty crazy, right?
Man, I can't believe it's been so long since our last interview. That really seems like just it doesn't. How long did you say ago it was? 6 years ago? That's hard to believe. That's impossible to believe.
I know, right? I've actually got a song for you that I'm going to play for you to celebrate the 10-year anniversary.
Okay, no, this is getting things off to a kind of an
Yeah.
awkward start, but I'll let you go on ahead.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you, Scott.
Wait, you're going to be performing this yourself, or is something recorded?
Monica right here.
Man,
Monica,
you
okay,
are
favorite.
I've been practicing
Actually, that's
this
wrong.
song
You are
for 32 years.
putting yourself up
Mhm.
So, are you ready for this?
for a fucking challenge.
Come on now,
Come on.
you started this.
Right.
Come on now, you started this.
I'm really good. I'm really good.
Now, I will admit that I couldn't actually hear that. I don't know if your thing was cutting the audio out.
Made a spell.
Oh.
The spell is from 1864 by a wizard named Dewey Muscrewy.
Okay.
That spell has now hypnotized you to tell me all the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, jeez. Now, I thought we talked about this in advance. Now, listen.
There'll be no
This is a
lore.
bad idea to start talking about lore. All right, well, here, you'll have to give me specific questions, and I'll see what I can answer for you.
So we got lied to.
I was joking.
But I make no promises.
Scott, tell me what's in the box.
Wow, just direct, just like that.
The box.
Well, look, okay. It's the 10-year anniversary, okay? And even though I like to be elusive, I like to kind of tease the fan base. I like to, and I do like there to be an air of mystery about things. Sometimes I do let things go on for too long. And I understand that sometimes things become not fun anymore and things can become frustrating for theorists. So, okay, I think as the 10-year anniversary is upon us, I will give this as my gift to the fan base on this 10th anniversary. What's in the box is
I don't want to fucking hear about Zenless Zone Zero.
Zenless Zone Zero's in the box?
No way. Bad game?
I'm surprised he got it so early.
and that's about it. And that's it, man.
So, like we've been speaking about, 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Did we just get blue-balled by Scott Cawthon?
Were you expecting anything else?
Yes! I wanted an answer!
I told you he wasn't going to answer and you agreed.
I did agree, and then he made it sound... He became really convincing for a moment. I got myself duped.
He does not have a silver tongue. How did you fall for that?
I'm too trusting.
I don't trust high-definition anim, dude.
Freddy's, which is a crazy amount of time. I can't believe we're still here. It's been such a journey. So I just
I'm
wanted
gonna
to
cry
ask
myself
you,
to sleep tonight.
do you have a highlight moment for the whole 10 years of Five Nights at Freddy's since 2014?
I think there have definitely been a lot of satisfying moments. Like obviously, if whenever one of the new games would come out and it would be positively received, that was obviously a huge relief. You know, there's never been any goal other than just giving everybody what they were really hyped up about. Because you know, when you see everybody getting hyped up and getting excited, if suddenly something comes out that just is a big letdown, there's no greater fear, I think, for a game developer. So that was always satisfying and a relief. But I think the biggest highlight was probably just going to the movie theater to watch the movie when it finally came out, because you know, behind the scenes of all of the games throughout the years and behind the scenes of all the books being written and everything else, there was always the movie. The movie was just a slow burn project, even just starting as late as 2014. So that has been in the background, being, you know, progressing for almost the entirety of not almost the entirety of that first 9 years. Um, so to be able to actually go sit in the theater and hear the reaction from everybody, and
Bro,
hear the
none
fans
of
really
you can
enjoy it,
keep your
that
fucking
was
cars
definitely
working.
that was definitely a moment of just real happiness for me, I think.
Literally 9 years, you know, having ups and downs, you know, getting the script right as well. I know you've said on post before you've had so many scripts made for the movie.
You got someone who could fix it.
The plushes in Manhattan or something, that was one of the scripts. So
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I can imagine how, you know,
The way he
difficult
says
it's
that is
been,
like
trying to get it all done. You know,
the way he said that. Yeah, it was. Sounds like someone. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. He wrote that and then instantly went, "What the fuck am I doing?" and scrapped it. But it was absolutely a real thing, which makes it even funnier because always in the back of my mind, there's been a sort of doubt that was ever a real thing. But the way he said, "Yep, there was," that was a real thing, and that just is fucking hilarious to me. Are you still there,
Yeah.
Chase? Okay. You haven't spoken. I'm scared.
Discord gave me like 5 notifications at the same time. So I was like, what the fuck is happening? But it was just because PC Discord's open, so it just gave them all at the same time on my phone for some reason.
Interesting.
Are you still there?
I'm right here.
Okay, because it's been paused.
Yeah, because responding to
I can just
chat stuff.
imagine, well, not you, but you know, when me, Raz, and Ryan and Baz went to a premiere for it and sat down at the cinemas, and we all looked at each other at the end, and we had to we couldn't believe it, and we didn't even make the games. We've been there since, you know, basically day one, but we all said, like, imagine how Scott's feeling right now, you know, just sitting down and seeing it actually, you know, on the big screen. It must be a crazy feeling.
Yeah, and now that I've been through the process, you know, I can tell you it's a miracle that any movie gets made. Just being through that process, just how many wheels have to be turning at the same time, and how many things. And even though this process took a long time for me, you know, Hollywood works at just blazing speed, where there's 100 things happening at the same time, and it's a miracle if these things get coordinated. And sometimes things don't work out, but sometimes they do. On the day that I was driving to New Orleans, and the shooting was supposed to start the next day, on that drive, I was on the phone. It was like a 5-hour drive from where I was. I was on the phone the entire time trying to finish contracts and finish negotiating points, because there were still open items with there were still things that needed to be resolved with Universal, Blumhouse, the Actors Guild, the Writing Guild, were all of these things, and any one of them not being settled properly would mean we couldn't start filming. And all of those conversations were happening at the same time, and all of them depended on one of the other ones. And so that was a very stressful drive. But that's just the way that Hollywood works. There's a million things happening at once. It was definitely a whirlwind, but to see all of those pieces come into place, yeah, it was pretty remarkable. And yeah, like you were saying, just all of the scripts, starting just with 2015. There were a couple of deals that weren't very didn't pan out, but then whenever I was with Warner Brothers briefly, that was a good deal, and I was very, very grateful to have that. But even that, whenever the stars seemed to have aligned, things just didn't work out there either. And so I was really fortunate to meet up with Jason Blum and get to have that deal with Blumhouse. They had a lot of faith in the project, and they were following my lead on a lot of things. Sometimes to a fault, because lots of times I would throw things out and want to start over. But they were with me the whole journey. They were with me, and they believed in the vision. And everybody just had the fans at heart. That's all anybody wanted to do. Everybody was just making sure that every part of the movie would be something that the fan base would look at and recognize or relate to or connect with. And I think in the end, we were able to accomplish that. And I'm just really happy with that. And I think we landed with just the perfect end. That almost didn't happen either. There were a couple of instances where someone else was about to get a part, and then something would happen that would make that not work out, and then someone better would step in. And I've said this to my contacts at Blumhouse numerous times just over this last 6 months, even since the movie came out, thinking, aren't we glad that we got like Josh Hutcherson for this role? Like, isn't it great we had Elizabeth Lale for this role? Isn't it awesome we had Matthew Lillard for this role? Isn't it great we ended up with Piper Rubio for this role? Like, every single person that we ended up with was just absolutely, and everybody was just a delight to work with. Once again, since I'm new to kind of the film industry, I got to talk to people about their other experiences on other projects, and it can be really scary because usually, from what I understand, every production has one one member of the cast or one person on staff or just one person that causes problems or something like that. We didn't have anything like that. Nothing like that. Everybody was just phenomenal. They were just a joy to work with, and getting to go to filming was really fun. So it was a really fun experience, and in the end, I'm just happy that the fans were happy with it. Now, that's not to say the film didn't have it's places where it could have been improved, and we're all and me and Emma and Jason Blum, and looking to make sure the second movie is a step up and an improvement. So lots of good things to look forward to, I think.
Yeah, it's exciting. And yeah, you're right about the fan reaction. The fans absolutely loved it. Like, we all can't wait for the next movie. It's so exciting. And I'm so glad, it's actually happening as well. So yeah, exciting times. So yeah, you said that you've got a highlight of the 10 years of FNAF. If you could go back and change one thing in those 10 years, do you have anything that you would change? You can't.
No, the one thing I would change, I wish I could go back and have one more shot at FNAF World. I really, really do. I know it still would probably definitely be the oddball in the series, no doubt. And maybe it would still have been a poor decision in general, but there were just a lot of bad decisions made at the beginning of that project that doomed it from the start. Like, I was making it with mobile in mind, so it was a really slow resolution. I was thinking about it as a game on the phones. I tried to make the whole game on one frame in Click Team Fusion. That just means I wasn't allowing it to be as big as it could have been. I was trying to cram it all together for my own convenience. There were just several decisions that were made that really hindered that. And also, I was getting a little arrogant, thinking that, hey, anything I make is going to be gold, and I definitely ate some humble pie with that really, really quick, and I learned that is not the case. And so I've tried to be very careful not make that mistake again after that.
You see, Scott, you do have the chance to go and take another whack at FNAF World. In fact, we implore you to. Please.
He means redo it, not make another one.
I want FNAF World remake so badly I will kill a man, and
But
not you,
that's not going
because
back and changing it. That's doing it
I know,
again.
I know.
Like
Go
I
back
am
to history
also
and
I'm also okay with a remake or a sequel. Like I like FNAF World. It has some
I
definite issues, but those can be ironed out.
oh, those could so easily be ironed out. No, you see, if I could go back to FNAF and change one thing, it would be deleting Ucian from the fucking universe. Give it to me. I need it. That is to this day the one thing I will never forgive this fucking fan base for.
You cut out a bit on my end.
I said that'll be the one thing I never
No,
forgive this fan
what
base
the one
for.
thing was.
Oh, the endless pizza tycoon.
Ah,
He was like, "Y'all want UCN or pizza?" Everybody chose UCN.
UCN was the better option
I want
overall on the grand scheme of things.
probably, but I want that fucking tycoon, man.
I am not saying the Tycoon wouldn't have been great. I'm just saying that if we take a step back, we got the right option, even if it's not our favorite option.
I hope that one day somebody actually makes.
I hope
Like,
Scott does.
we have, like, it fits so well with the FNAF franchise. If we can have FLAF, we can have Endless Pizza Tycoon.
Like, don't make a Freddy in Space 4. Make a Pizza Tycoon.
Look, buddy, we've proven that you're not retired from game making.
FNAF the
Give
movie.
us the Pizza Tycoon.
FNAF 2, the movie, the game.
He's the Endless Tycoon.
Yeah.
Exactly. Give us, like, there's so many things you could do for it. There's so many things you could do for it. Come on, man. I know you love making tiny, shitty little games. Just make 1 billion of them. Put them on that one. And then also let me put Nightmare on stage. And I'll be happy.
But yeah, if I could go back and change one thing, I wish I could maybe work with a different developer and just really make it a high resolution game, get in some really good graphics, maybe get someone else in. It could have been a good game. Could have been a good game. Who knows? Maybe somewhere down the line, if I get really antsy about it and have a lot of free time on my hands, maybe FNAF 2 or FNAF World 2 might be a thing.
Yeah.
Oh no, you shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that. Now I'm gonna fucking.
Different company to do a FNAF World game. It's not over yet. I think I've said this to you before. I love FNAF World. I think it is so underrated, and I always say FNAF World is underrated.
It's a very fun
much.
game.
It's just a charm to
It's
it.
just
I
a
hesitate
fun.
to say it's a
And I
good
know you
game, but
don't
it's
like
definitely
it,
fun.
But I absolutely love it, man. I
Could
really
be a
do.
lot
I love
better.
everything
But
about
like
it.
it is
If I
to this day the only
if I
turn-based
allowed
RPG other
myself
than
to
Pokemon I can make myself sit through all the way through. Even then I can barely sit through a Pokemon game.
Is not the pinnacle of RPG.
It is not, no. Not even close.
So saying you can't sit through Pokemon isn't really saying much.
I'm saying that it keeps me captive. It captures my imagination. Like the funny little animals. Big fan of Clodsire.
Oh, modern Pokemon's way more fun to interact with. Worse games, but
I enjoy playing modern Pokemon more than I enjoy any of
Sword
the
and
older
Shield
ones.
is bad. It's just
Sword and Shield was the first one
bad.
that I actually played on its. No, that's a lie. That was the first one I was cognizant of whenever I was playing it.
Scarlet and Violet is an absolute fucking disaster and never should have happened, but god, it's fun.
It is really fun, and I'm mad that someone stole my copy of it because I enjoyed it. It was a disaster, but it was fun disaster. Like FNAF
Unfortunately,
World.
the DLC is just a disaster.
Oh, I was gonna go buy it.
Yeah, it like barely runs at all, and
Oh,
it
great.
just isn't great on its own.
Oh, wunderbar. We hate to see it.
Yeah. FNAF World isn't really a disaster, it's just underbaked. It was a bit of a disaster at launch, though. Anyway.
Work on it for one more year, just like really double its development cycle and let it be a high res game. I bet it would have really been something. But like I said, who knows? Maybe for the sequel someday.
Let's move on to Steelwall, the amazing Steelwall Studios. That was the next game after Ultimate Custom Night. Help Wanted, one of my favorite games in VR. I absolutely loved it. What has it been like working with Steelwall? Were you nervous about it? Because I know it's a big thing to near your baby, basically, and let them, do what you've been doing for the past 5 years. How was it for the first time letting someone else work on FNAF?
I was really nervous about it. I was really nervous. I went several years still doing it by myself, even after I had the financial ability to pay other people. Again, I wasn't in that mentality of being able to do that. So even though I could have done that, I was still doing things just all by myself, all the way up through Pizzeria Simulator.
Yeah.
But by then it was I knew that it was getting too much for me. I knew that I had to find, and I'm scared of that because there are stories all over the internet available about just games that went completely wrong because of games being mismanaged in the hands of development companies. And I'm sure that all of their pitches on the surface would have sounded the same, but I really got lucky. For that reason, I really feel like I got lucky, because whereas I probably could have accidentally ended up with a company that did botch something, I didn't. I think I really honestly believe that I landed with the best, just one of the best development companies. They've been just a pleasure to work with, and they've done a really great job. This last one they did, Ruin, I thought it was just so much fun.
Is Help Wanted 2 a joke to you people?
I think that might be my favorite thing that they've made was Ruin, and the things that they have planned.
He just really likes Ruin, okay?
Daco put Ruin after Help Wanted 2. Scott said Ruin's the most recent thing they did. What
Revisionist history.
What is this?
Revisionist history of FNAF timeline. What the fuck? I don't know. Help Wanted 2 is so good. Maybe this was recorded 9 months ago.
It definitely was not, because Daco already mentioned Help Wanted 2 coming out.
Maybe this was recorded 9... I don't know. I have no fucking clue. Help Wanted 2 was so good. I don't know why people pretend it doesn't exist. Like Scott Cawthon. Famous internet personality Scott Cawthon. Man who hasn't been...
So, yeah, I've been really happy. It's been a really good experience. Well, on Help Wanted, I was going to throw in, I'm happy with how Help Wanted came out, because at the time, and I don't have this anymore. I don't have a 3D, I don't have a VR setup anymore. But whenever the first Help Wanted came out, I did have a VR setup, so I was able to beta test. And of course, I was leading the charge to want to beta test my own games. I got into the Funtime Auditorium and I noped out of it. I took the headset off, and I immediately got on the phone with Steelwall and said, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to test it. You test it. You're going to test it. You'll find someone else to test it. I didn't even get jump scared by Foxy. I was just in there in the darkness, and I knew I wasn't going to do it. And I never played it again. And I never played Help Wanted. And I never played Help Wanted 2 either. And I'm not going to.
People need to understand
I
it,
can't
though,
believe
right?
Scott refuses to play the
in
games.
the past, like, when
He
I've
refuses to
obviously
play
done
the best
videos
game in
on
his
Help
series.
Wanted 1 and 2, I get a comment saying, like, it's not that scary, you're overreacted, it's not that bad. But you don't know until you've literally put on the headset, right?
Yeah.
It's completely different.
I played the
just
games.
watching it
You're
from a
overreacting.
screen
It's not that bad.
compared to having the actual headset.
I've played the
It's
games. You're
terrifying.
underreacting.
Yeah,
It's way worse.
completely different experience.
I have a question.
You never even
Glitch
finished
Trap
Help Wanted
is
1.
one of my favorite.
I didn't, because it
characters
terrified
in
me.
FNAF now. I absolutely love Glitch Trap.
Plush Baby's
Okay,
genuinely
okay,
scared the shit out of me.
okay. I just remembered Nightmarion. I can't speak.
You can't say a fucking
I forgot
word.
about Night Terrors. I blocked Nightmarion out of my memory. I'm sorry. Help Wanted 2 isn't that bad. You're overreacting.
No, because I finished Help Wanted 2.
Exactly. Help Wanted 1, okay, yeah.
Except I
you got
didn't,
one.
because I didn't play the sister location levels, because they
Okay.
scare me.
Well, you didn't play them because I played them. You can play them. It'll be fine.
what's it called? I got no. I was gonna say I got scared, man. I can't say no, I didn't. I got scared for about a minute, and then it just became really fun. I
It was a
maintain that
very
that is
fun
the best
game,
minigame.
although they hate that the 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 Vive controllers didn't work appropriately.
You were kneecapped by your controllers.
Because like I can tell you that it was like disjointed and I had to like hold my wrist in a funky way to use it, but that doesn't really carry across how it felt to play that way. Phaser Blast was so painful.
I'll box up my Quest 2. I'll send it to you. We'll get you playing this correctly.
Because like the way that I had to like squeeze the controller for holding things too, it's like playing any game mode where you had to like hold things frequently for large periods of time. Like Phaser Blast was just a hand cramp and pain and oh god. But I did it. I beat them and I got the Fall Fest burn to the ground ending and got the all the puppets and we won. We beat it.
Come on, we beat it. Yippee!
My hand hurt for like 3 days after, but it was worth it.
Very proud, broke down.
You know, with the development of Help Wanted.
I love the character, and I know that this is kind of one of the places where I know that there's a little bit of a divide with maybe me and the fan base, or maybe just within the fan base, because I always lean sci-fi. I have a tendency to lean sci-fi, even though
Sci-fi is cool.
I try to come back into the roots of the supernatural instead.
He's always been a
But
sci-fi
I
guy.
inclinations to lean sci-fi. So anything that involves possession of AI or possession of machines or circuitry, that I love that sort of thing. So I love the idea of glitch trap. I'm not a huge fan of the name. Here's the way that these things happen.
I
Okay,
love the
and this
name.
happened with burn trap too. Whenever I'm in the planning phase with Steel Wool, we come up with temporary names for these characters. You know, whenever we're doing the pre-production document, I'll say, oh, well, he's glitchy. We'll call him glitch trap. Oh yeah, he's burn. We'll just call him burn trap. But then those names get embedded in the source code because they use those temporary names also. And once they're in the source code, and once someone finds them in the source code, that's it. Like that's the canon name now, and there's nothing I can do about it. And hopefully we're learning our lessons going forward to maybe find I don't know to just hone in on a better process there, because yes, I love the character. Not a huge fan of the name, but
The
it is what
name's
it is for
awesome,
now.
though.
It's the name.
Like burn
I love
traps,
Glitch
whatever,
Trap's
but glitch
name.
trap is awesome.
No.
Can you
I've always been more partial towards the name Malhair.
I don't like
I like
Malhair
that.
is like a funny joke. I like the pun there, but glitch trap flows better and it's just good.
I don't know.
Like
I'm sort of with Scott on this one. I'm sort of with Scott on this
Malhair
one.
feels like it's trying too hard.
I don't know. I just like it more.
It's like, okay, haha, malware, malhair, I get it. Funny joke. Like glitch trap just like feels more like in line.
I can't say I entirely agree.
Like the entire franchise is all about having like the different variants of the characters having a very similar name. Golden Freddy, Shadow Freddy. I know he was originally Yellow Bear, but he's Golden Freddy canonically now. Spring Bonnie, regular Bonnie, Glam Bonnie, not Phantom Bonnie because there's not a Phantom Bonnie, but like that type of thing. So to have the glitchy Bonnie or Trap be Malhair, like there's nothing that doesn't connect to anything.
There is one thing. My sort of like thought process has been it's sort of tangentially related to Spring Trap being, you know, Spring Bonnie. But like the reason for him to be called Spring Glitch Trap has never really hit me. It hit me like a ton of bricks just now.
Yeah.
He is a trap. That is a trap meant to be sprung on you to steal your brain and your body.
That on top of him being a glitchy spring trap mimic.
I'm slightly more okay with the name now. Now that I've had that sort of moment of, oh,
Because like malware
wait,
is
hold on, it is a
cool,
trap.
It just doesn't connect to anything. Like all it does is reference that he's malware, which Glitch Trap already gets across too, and also has more layers. So it's just malware doesn't do it for me.
Agree to disagree.
That's fine.
Think of a name like on the spot, like what you would want to call him or not?
Oh, I have no idea. But you know what? A good example is Nexus, from Ruin. Now, that was a character where, even in just my design of the game, I thought that through, and I came up with that. And I'm really happy with it. I really like that name. It's a really cool name. But now, see, if I didn't have one of those ready to fire off, I might have thought up something like, I don't know, Purple Trap,
That would have been bullshit.
or AI Trap, or just something temporary, and then that would have been the can name. That would have been so much worse than Nexus. So
After Help Wanted,
Pronounced
we got
Nexus,
Security
okay.
I
Breach.
really don't like how he says
Were you
that.
happy with the release of
No,
Security Breach when
I
it
like
first
that more
came
than
out?
Mexus.
Security Breach. There's
Like
there's
Nexus,
really
what
big
used to be my
story behind
username.
That was definitely a challenging period, and a lot of things just didn't align up perfectly for that, and there were a lot of reasons for that. I mean, obviously, I hear lots of studios and things kind of blame COVID for stuff, but there is a reason for that. COVID took well-structured work systems and suddenly scattered them and expected the work to continue to flow, and it just doesn't work that way. From my understanding, I'm pretty sure most, if not every, member of Steel Wool got scattered across the country and were trying to just carry on with the workflow.
Yeah, that was mentioned in the Steel Wool interview.
And it was just really difficult. I think that's really the only example when my idea of how a game was going to go was misaligned with how things were going with Steel Wool, and I had a specific story for this in mind. Okay, for Security Breach, I really did. I had a very specific story in mind, and it is very different than the one that got in the game.
This
And
is
I
what I
think
wanted
a
to
part
talk
of that
about.
is the way that I
I
conveyed
heard
that
about
to
this.
Steel Wool.
Yeah.
Because what I was trying to do was I was trying to tell Steel Wool to do specific things throughout the game, put specific items in specific places, have specific characters do certain things, meanwhile not telling them what the story plot was. Because in my head, I was thinking, okay, when people find this, they will connect this to this to this, and it will all be revealed. And I thought I could do that without telling Steel Wool the story plot.
Oh, you idiot!
That didn't work out very well because they got all of these pieces and they thought it was their job to connect them in a way that made sense. And so really what you ended up having were the same pieces but telling completely different stories. And since I was trying to kind of tell a specific story with mine that went a certain direction, they were taking pieces I didn't fully understand and trying to craft a story out of them. And again, I don't blame them for that. I blame myself for that because I guess what I should have done is just said, "Hey, here's the story. Here's why these pieces are here. Here's how they're
That
supposed
is
to connect."
absolutely
And
what you
I
should
can
have
give you a
done.
really easy example.
Done.
And I'm hesitant to say this because I don't like messing with the lore, but I think in this case it's okay. When it comes to Burn Trap, originally Burn Trap was never supposed to move. He was supposed to just be something you saw in the corners, or like if you were walking past machinery, you might be able to peek in between two things and see
That's
him
terrifying.
in the corner or propped up against a wall, almost like a some kind of decaying movie prop, and you never fully understood what his purpose was. And he had a very specific purpose, and I'm not going to say what that purpose was, but realistically, he never moved. Well, obviously, that's not what we got in Security Breach.
I heard about that.
Security Breach, we got a capsule opening and purple smoke flowing out, and him climbing out and coming to get you. And so it's just not quite the same thing.
That's
So,
crazy.
but anyway, it didn't turn out the way anybody wanted. But hey, whenever that happens, just like whenever I stepped in it a little bit with FNAF World, me and Steel Wool got together. We were like, look, all that matters now is making things right by the fan base. That's all that matters. We all had the best intentions going on. We all wanted to make a good product, and we went in and we made Ruin for it, and I hope that redeemed the game, and I feel like it did because I think it was really great.
Okay, so that explains why in Ruin, Burn Trap just seemed to have been written out of existence.
Because he wasn't supposed to be written into existence.
But okay, It's like we always talk about how Security Breach isn't scary and like it's like a kiddie FNAF game. There's like not much to it. Like the jump scares are weak. Like all you have is like half-baked stealth gameplay. But
Yeah.
regardless of what your feelings on are, that's the consensus.
Yeah,
I
that's
really
the
think that
understanding.
gameplay loop would all tie together so well if you had those burn trap mechanics. Like he's just there. Like you just turn a corner, like you're trying to hide from him in the house. You just turn a corner, and then you get, oh my god, a burn trap. Okay, he's not real. Get out of my head. Keep going. Like that kind of a thing, along with like the game just being polished in general.
Yeah.
I think that would go so far to making Security Breach a really good game.
God.
Because like I know just a little bit about like, oh, Burn Trap wasn't supposed to move. He was just supposed to be like a spooky thing in the shadows. But like hearing
I didn't even
like,
hear
the
the
specifics from Scott himself, hearing like exactly what he had in mind there, I'm so upset we didn't get that.
all I saw were the words "Burn Trap wasn't even supposed to move," and I went, "Okay, what the fuck are they talking about in this interview?"
And
What
like
the
I'm
fuck?
also really, really happy that Scott did go out of his way here to mention the miscommunication, because like that's always been something that's like we've been saying amongst ourselves, like, oh,
Yeah,
Scott was always planning the mimic. Burn Trap was just a miscommunication with Steel Wool. This, and this. And it's really nice to have this validation of him himself coming out and saying, yes, I had a story in mind. I did not tell it to Steel Wool. Steel Wool made their own story, which was not my story, and it's not their fault, but it's not correct.
I wonder because the thing is, you can't exactly write Security Breach out of existence.
You can't. Because like what I've been sitting on all day is questioning where we go from here. Like, is Steel Wool story just the new story now? Other than like adding in the mimic, because Steel Wool didn't know about the mimic, but the mimic is clearly part of the story. It was ruined. Or are we going to be spending the next couple games kind of like, obviously Security Breach happened, but like the lore bits and the Easter eggs in it being kind of like pushed to the side in favor of clarifying what the story was supposed to be.
I feel like what they're going to do is they're gonna just slowly rewrite history over the next few games, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Because I
Because
also... Sorry, you go ahead.
because it like there's no way you can just go into Security Breach and be like, okay, let's just completely patch the game to have a completely different story. You can't just pretend like Security Breach never happened, because it did happen. It was a massive game. Like you can't just delete it. So the like issue comes in with just how are you going to make what you're trying to say work with what you accidentally said.
Yeah. But I think this is part of why the book conversation is as confusing as it is about like whether Tales is canon to the games or not, and how like the stories just don't quite connect, but they're supposed to. And that's because Scott is involved in the writing of the books like more directly, and Security Breach doesn't quite align with them exactly because Steel Wool messed up the story. Again, not their fault. They did what they thought their job was. Scott just didn't explain anything properly.
It was their doing, but it was Scott's fault.
Yeah. Because, like, I hold absolutely nothing about the situation against Steel. Like, maybe they could have, like, asked for clarification more, but for all we know, they did, and Scott stood by his decision not to. But I think that's what's up with Tales. I think everything from Tales we can take as this is what Scott intended. Because, like, it's been setting up the Mimic, and Ruin's setting up the Mimic, and all
Yeah.
of that.
I think
And
Ruin and Help
any
Wanted
other...
too
Yeah.
have been like the first steps of sort of rewriting and correcting things.
So any inconsistencies with Security Breach, as frustrating as this is, it's just kind of what it is now. We just kind of have to hand wave as, oh, this was an accident. This wasn't what was meant to be. But he
It also-
also did say that he told them to put specific things in specific places and have specific characters do specific things. So it feels like as of right now, like they'll probably get like clarified in future releases and all that. But as of right now, it's just a major guessing game of, is this action intentional or is this action something Steel Wool made up? Is this thing like an intended Easter egg, or is this something Steel Wool made up? Like
The Mr.
especially-
Hippo fridge magnet. Oh, sorry.
That was Steel Wool messing up. It's not crappy.
No, I was gonna say, no, the Mr. Hippo fridge magnet, that entire scene was methodically planned out by Scott Cawthon. That is going to have massive ramifications later.
But like the whole like therapy logs, how much of that can we look at now? Like, was that something that Steel Wool did to try to connect the pieces that Scott put, or are those pieces that Scott put?
Yeah, that's the issue now. It's
Those
the
have
guessing
always
game.
been, like, what do these mean for the greater lore, and like especially Vanessa's father being Bill, which is shorthand for Will, and like, is Vanessa an Afton? How does that even work with the timeline? Like all of those types of things, and especially the movie having Vanessa as an Afton.
Yeah, especially the
Confusing.
because
But like anything that we can take from those therapy logs to try to support that, can we take those anymore? Like that's always been up in the air, but now that we have official confirmation that things in Security Breach were not what Scott intended, are not actually the story, are those relevant anymore?
that's the conversation. That's the issue.
Yeah. Anyway, I just want
Let's
to get that
continue
out there.
watching to see if anything is clarified. It won't be.
It will not be.
And yeah, and anything that we do going forward that continues that story or has those same themes, I think we're just going to be in a much better situation to continue on.
So, the Rune DLC came out a year ago now, which is crazy to think about. Time's going so quickly, and the fan reaction to that was amazing. Everybody loved it, and everybody's looking forward to what's next.
Yeah.
The ending of Ruin, with a specific character that came out, a new character into the games, the Mimic. Any thoughts on the Mimic?
I cannot share any thoughts on the Mimic other than I really like that character. This is a character that I really like and I'm really excited about. I think it's a really terrific antagonist, and I don't think it's the last that we've seen of the Mimic.
This is
That's
the
all I'll
thing
say.
that I was saying. There's
Yes.
almost nothing report
With that,
ever.
do you have a favourite character in the
Yeah.
Steel Wool era of games?
Like all like the
I mean,
FNAF news
Music Man
outlets
is
were
too
saying.
obvious of an answer.
Oh my
right?
God, Scott
I mean,
Cawthon Mimic's coming back.
no,
Like,
I think all of those characters turned out great. In fact, I think this is why it's hard to pick a favorite because all of them turned out so well. You know, I've always really liked Vanny as a character. I don't think that Vanny was utilized to her fullest potential, and so
No.
hopefully we'll see another opportunity for Vanny to return as well. We'll see.
Told you.
Metro presents a tale of two wireless customers.
I've been a loyal customer since today.
Told you we weren't done with
Which
Vanny.
means
What was that?
Told you we weren't done with Vanny.
Hope we weren't.
Because like people were taking Help 1 and 2's
Okay.
ending
Moving
as,
on
see no more
to
Vanny.
The books.
No.
So
Not how
the
I took
books
it.
have been
No.
amazing.
If anything, Vanny is free in the worst way possible.
But I think it's the best way possible because it's Vanessa. It's not Vanny. Like I really like the narrative take of her using the Vanny persona against Glitch Trap. Like she's taking it on her own now, and she is no longer shackled by him, but is still utilizing Vanny for her own purposes. Vanessa's not evil. Probably. I'm still very assuming that Vanessa is that friend that had the schematics with Gregory, and also like hooked up Mixus to like stop the Mimic and whatever for whatever reason. But just to have it not just be Vanessa, to have it like be by extension Vanny, the Vanny persona, I like that she is reclaiming that on her own.
Yeah.
And that does seem to be the takeaway now that Scott has said that he doesn't think Vanny's gone for good either.
Little summary videos on the channel with Fazbear Frights. That was awesome. How has he been working on Fazbear Frights?
It's actually really enjoyable. It's probably one of the most enjoyable things that I do because I just get to think up a really scary scenario, and then I create
Like
a 10
Matt
to
Pat
15 page
Spring
story out
Trip,
of it.
Spring
And I
Trip
have writers that I
improv.
work with, obviously, and they take that
Terrifying.
and they really flesh it out and fill it out and add the details and turn it into a full length story. And I get to kind of just really see it come to life. So it's been really enjoyable, and that's something that I really enjoy. It's funny because it's one of those things where as long as I know that that's something that's happening in my life, I might be at the gym or I might be watching a show, and then suddenly something will come to mind, and I'll be like, "Oh man, this is gonna make a great story," and I get right home and I start working on it.
Do you have a favorite story out of all of them?
I think my favorite story it's probably Bunny Call. I know that's kind of an oddball choice, but there's a reason for it. Because some of these stories are based on my real life experiences. Bunny Call is not completely made up. I used to take my family to a family summer camp. Okay, this is one of my two. This is my two oldest boys were maybe 11 and 12 at the time. Or no, I bet they were 13 and 14. It's hard to remember exactly when this was. But then I had younger two that were just babies still. And whenever we showed up at camp, and we were all in the auditorium signing up for activities, it was rafting and boating. One of the things you could sign up for was a panda call. Okay. And a panda call it's a very deceiving title, because what that meant is that early in the morning, a bunch of the camp counselors dressed as killer clowns
What?
into your cabin and scare the crap out of your kids to wake them up early and drag them off to their daily activities. And so I signed up my two oldest, Ian and Braden, my old beta testers, or whenever all their lives testing my games. I signed them up for it. And I thought, oh yeah, this will be kind of fun. It was kind of fun until the next morning started rolling around. I started thinking about what I'd done. Because then the next morning I woke up at 5 in the morning and I realized they're out there somewhere. Like this is happening right now. And I started listening for screams, and I started listening for noises, and I even snuck out and went outside. And it was dark and there were crickets chirping, and I was looking around, and I just thought to myself, somewhere out here in the dark in these trees are a bunch of clowns, and they're coming to my cabin. and it was a really,
I want someone to
really
clip that out of
scary sensation.
context.
And so then I just went back inside.
So outside my
family
cabin
sleeping,
are
my
a bunch
baby
of
sleeping, and
clowns.
the
And they're
kids
coming
and my wife,
to
and I
my
was like,
cabin.
what have I done? Like, what have I done? Of course, it ended up not being a big deal, because then I just heard a soft knock at the door, and I opened it, and there was a row of killer clowns. I said, never mind, you guys, and they just walked on. And so it wasn't a big deal, but it was still a really eerie feeling like I had signed up for something that I'd regretted and I couldn't undo it, And so I based Bunny Call on that.
That's really funny.
Awesome. You said that you've got relatable stories. Do you have a relatable story with Fazgoo?
Look, okay. Listen, anytime there's a series of a whole bunch of different things, you're going to have some that are great, and then some that's like, well, like what was going on with this? I don't know how to explain the Fazgoo. I'm sure I had something in mind that was really great, but they can't all be winners. Now I will say a couple of the other ones that had real life connections. Sometimes you hear about people talking about their sleep paralysis demons or whatever. That's never really made sense to me, but now it kind of makes sense to me, and I don't know why it does. Yeah, every once in a while, a person you'll wake up, but you'll still be paralyzed in your sleep, and for some reason, I guess in that moment, you're still half dreaming, and so you have a tendency to still maybe see something before you fully wake up. And the Blackbird creature was mine. That creature on the cover of Blackbird is my sleep paralysis demon, because I was on vacation, I was by myself, and I don't know what the circumstances were. I feel like I was taking a midday nap, but I woke up with a jolt, and for a split second I saw that thing standing over me, and I couldn't move, and my body was tingling, and I was just frozen up, and I was just so disoriented after that. But I never forgot that, and I knew immediately after that, it's like, I've got to get this into a story somewhere, like this crazy looking creature.
That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I've never had sleep paralysis, so I don't know what my creature would look like, but I hope it doesn't look like that.
I don't think it's a normal experience. I don't think it's an experience you should want to have. I don't feel like it's a healthy thing. So if that hasn't happened to you, I think you're in a good place.
Do you have a least favorite story?
I don't know. I think it probably might be the Fazgoo, or no. I mean, come on. It's got to be the one where the guy gets pregnant with Springtrap's baby. I'm not sure what I was thinking about. Again, that's one of those things where, oh man, this is going to be really creepy. But then you step back and look at it from afar, and you're like, I don't know if this is a good idea. And I swear I wasn't picking on MatPat. That wasn't a story designed with MatPat in mind.
I can't believe you mentioned
wasn't.
that.
Listen, whenever you're doing these stories for this long, eventually you just run out of names, and you're going to cover all the names.
Yeah.
Eventually I'll get around to Doc. So if you see Doc on all these stories, it's not something personal. It's just because I ran out of names,
I don't know. Dorco is a very specific name that you'd have to get to.
I probably have a few more to go through before I get to that, so you don't have anything to worry about.
When doing my summary videos, and I know a lot of people say the same, people who loved Goosebumps when they were kids find these really relatable, right? And I know kids at school now read Fazbear Frights like they're Goosebumps books. And as a kid, my favourite TV show was Goosebumps. Would you ever?
Oh, I remember hearing about this.
Or like the idea of Fazbear Frights ever being
I
a
heard
TV
this
show
too.
like Goosebumps, where it's like a series of some of the best stories or something adapted?
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's something that can definitely happen.
Can we get the Impreg one?
Especially now that the first
I want the Impreg
movie
MatPat.
was successful. I think that really
Can we
opens
cast
the door
MatPat?
to lots of other.
Can we cast MatPat, please?
The only thing to be mindful of is I don't want to.
He's theoretically an
oversaturate the
actor.
market and just create too much. And I think that sometimes we get a little bit of that where franchises have movies and too many TV shows, and it just kind of waters everything down. But I really do like that idea, and it is definitely something that could happen for sure.
Awesome. So the next segment is the FNAF movie. I've got some questions for you, Scott. First off, I absolutely loved the movie, as you know, and I know a lot of people did as well. The fans absolutely loved it, and it did really well at the box office as well. Super successful. Congratulations to you, Blumhouse, Universal. So yeah, first question is, how was working on the first FNAF movie after waiting for so long, after announcing it back in 2015? Well, you emailed me back in 2015 about it. I still remember that email. But yeah, how was it?
It took a really long time to get off the ground, really just because of the screenplay. But after the screenplay was really locked in, from there, all the wheels started turning, all the engines fired, and it took off. And it was a really fun experience from there. And really the screenplay just had a lot of challenges because of what it was. And it's really, throughout all of those years, I worked with a lot of different directors, a lot of different writers, a lot of really talented people that eventually would end up leaving the project, but still really talented people. And it was really just a matter of there's just material that's difficult to translate to the screen. And one of the biggest issues is the animatronics, obviously being the monsters in the monster movie. If I were to approach any writer of a horror movie or any director and say, okay, here are your monsters, go make a monster movie with them, that's easy. You give them all a knife, you go in, you just make your generic slasher, but just have it be, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy doing the slashing. The nuance here is that these animatronics are possessed by the spirits of kids. And these are innocent kids. These are victims themselves. So it's very, very difficult to still have a horror movie, still have those kills that you need, but still preserve the innocence of those kids. And it's a really difficult thing to do. And there were several screenplays that did not hit that mark. And I think I was more cautious about that and more picky about that than anything else. If kind of the innocence of those spirits was not preserved properly, I wasn't going to go forward with it. And so, one quick example is the way that we were able to have a couple of kills in the movie was obviously the vandals. You have a group of people who are breaking in, they're disrespecting the place, they're trashing the place, they're there with bad intentions, and then you combine that with the fact that these animatronics are, the spirits in them are these kids that are basically very confused and lost, animals backed into a corner, and kind of left with this impression that adults are out to get them. And then you have these violent adults breaking in. And so it allows you to have that kill count while still being like, well, I can kind of see how that might happen. It was a tricky thing to do, but I think we were able to accomplish that.
Manipulated by William Afton still as well.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. That's absolutely right. The drawing on the wall was also kind of this layer, this blanket of manipulation over them all. So all those things combined, you could see how these actions could happen while it not necessarily being the fault of the kids.
With the fort scene as well, I loved the fort scene. I know some people were a bit confused by that, like why are they building a fort? But I got it straight away. You know, you just want to show the audience that they're just kids, right?
extremely
You know,
obvious.
were you happy with
Yeah.
the first movie and how it came out?
Yes, I am. I am very happy. I mean, look,
I thought
anytime
it was quite
anybody-
obvious.
I think pretty much anybody who's been through a process like this would be able to look back. And I do this with my games too. You look back and you're like, well, I wish I'd tweaked this. Oh, maybe this could have been like this, or maybe this could have been like that. But you have to just really take a step back and look at it as a whole, and where it came from, all the things that could have gone wrong, and all the things that went right, and just be really grateful that so many things just fell into place. You know, and I can give you a really quick example of why I don't want to second guess too much. You know, at the 11th hour of this movie coming together, we still really didn't have a music composer, and I really wanted an animated intro. I was really pushing to have that 8-bit animated intro, but we didn't have anybody, and really not really anybody to have an idea of what kind of music we were looking for. 11th hour, Newton Brothers come in and they write off that banger of a track, like absolute insane. Like I listened to that the first time and I was like, wait a minute, do I have a theme song? Does Final Fantasy Freddy's have a theme song? You know, and I called Emma Tammy on the phone. I was like, wait, do we have a theme song now? Like, I can't tell you how excited I was over that. And you better believe you're going to hear that again at the beginning of the second movie too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give me more of that shit.
So yeah,
Genuinely the best piece of music to ever come out of FNAF. I will not be taking suggestions.
I don't think I'm going to dwell too much on
or
I hope they talk
what I
about
would go
the
back
Living
and try to do
Tombstone here.
differently.
that would be cool.
Because
But,
that was
like-
a really big moment to see in the credits too.
It really was.
As we know, the movie was a major hit in 2023, super successful, the biggest horror movie of 2023 as well. How does that feel seeing that happen?
It's nice. That part is nice. It's more important to me that if the critics had loved it, but the fan base was grumbling and saying, "Wait, this isn't how it is in the lore. Wait, we didn't like this. I don't like how they did this, and this," and the fan base was unhappy, that would be a failure to me. I'm perfectly happy with all the critics hating it and the fan base reacting positively to it. So yes, it is nice that the movie was successful. However, that is not the correct metric by which to judge the success of this movie. And in fact,
I like that mindset.
opening night, which was Thursday night,
Yes.
you know, where I am, I went to the very first showing, and the theater was pretty much empty. There were only a couple other people in there, but it was a 1 o'clock showing. So, but still, I saw that as kind of a bad sign. But I just watched it anyway.
Going
Then I
to
went
see
to
the premiere
I went to the next
the
showing,
Five Nights at
which
Freddy's
is later in
movie,
the
you turn around
evening.
and Scott Cawthon is just sitting there watching it too.
I think I would have an aneurysm.
And I told myself I wasn't
My
going to
brain would have a bleed.
read any reviews. I had already told everybody at Blumhouse, and I told my legal team, don't talk to me, don't call me, don't email me, don't send me charts, don't send me facts or figures. I don't want to hear anything about anything. I'm going through this whole weekend blind. I just want to experience what everybody else is experiencing. Well, before I went into that second showing, I was just by myself. And then later that evening, my whole family was coming into town, by the way. My whole family was going to come into town and watch the movie with me that night. But this showing, I was still sitting by myself. I was checking my email, and I accidentally saw one of the reviews. And I saw that it was terrible. And that opened the floodgates, and I went and started reading all of the other reviews. And I immediately texted my family saying, don't come. Don't come. You know, this is over. I want to be by myself. And I was already thinking in my head, like, how am I going to write a letter to Blumhouse apologizing for this? How am I going to write a letter to the fans apologizing to this for just wasting everybody's time? And I was just incredibly depressed. But somehow Jason Blum caught wind of this. I don't know who I asked a question to or what I said, but you know, he started just bombarding me with text messages saying, Scott, the fans love it. The fans love it. You know, the movie's a big hit. Everything's great. He was just, you know, in all caps, everything all caps. My phone was just blowing with all caps texts. And so he really talked me through that to try to encourage me that even though the critics hated it, there was a lot. There was a lot to be loved there by the fans, and so then I had my family come to town anyway, and we just sat in a packed theater and listened to the cheers and enthusiasm, and it really lifted my spirits. But for a couple of hours there, man, I was pretty distraught. I thought the whole thing was just a complete disaster.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't. It
Yay.
all worked out okay. It all worked out okay.
Yeah.
And again, the movie's not perfect. There's definitely room to improve. Uh, but yeah, I'm definitely happy that it was in general received well. by the
General?
fan base.
The General?
movie, which is it's been announced that it's going to be coming out in 2025. Is it December 5th?
Yeah, December 5th, 2025, I think.
Is there anything exciting to talk about on the second movie? Anything you want to say?
I'm not going to give away too many details, but I will say that I'm following kind of the same formula where the first movie is focused on the first game. So I'm going to try to carry on that tradition onward with future movies.
Plural.
And I think that is absolutely the way to go.
Trilogy.
I think everyone's going to be really,
Enough
really
for
excited for what's planned for
an
the second one.
entire
The
movie
first one
of
was really
Michael
challenging because it's so
just
much set.
running
It's like how do you
movies.
establish all of it?
It's an entire movie of Michael sitting there sobbing.
Drowning in nightmare gas.
Every 5 minutes, there's just a little puff of green smoke that enters the room. He sobs a little bit harder. At 1 hour and 15 minutes, Nightmarion shows up.
No. Anything but that.
But now that we have that launch pad, where to
It's
go from
fully
there
practical.
came a
They
lot
made that thing
just
real.
more natural.
No.
It felt a lot more natural.
They pumped the nightmare
And
gas
we were
into
able
the
to
theater.
really craft a really great story, I think. And
I would pay money, a lot of money, so much money, for them to like pump hallucinogens into my showing of the FNAF movie.
Yeah, you think you are scared of FNAF? They do that and then make Nightmarion real? I'm dying on the spot.
They pump like I don't know, what's something that like what's I know that there's a drug that sort of like just makes you like the sort of barrier between fiction and reality just sort of disappear entirely. I have no idea what drug I'm talking about. It's not LSD. I don't know. They fucking just pump some drugs in there and you're just like, oh god, he's here for me.
I'm really excited about it, and I won't say anything more. But I'm really hopeful that everyone's gonna really love what's gonna come around December 2025.
Yeah, so exciting. And is Emma back and everything?
Oh yes,
as
yeah,
well?
Emma's gonna be back. She did such a great job on that first one,
Yeah, that's really good having the same director. So now we're going to be talking about Into the Pit, the new game that's coming out by Megacat Studios. We just got another trailer, a couple like last week, and it looks amazing. It looks so good. How has it been working on the game based on a Fazbear Fright story?
It's definitely been a unique experience. I first started talking to Meg. I mean, it's been years and years since that game has been in development, and originally it was just supposed to be a little novelty one-off. Like, oh yeah, here's this little company that makes 16-bit cartridges, and that was immediately appealing to me because I'm all about the Super Nintendo. And so if I could make something that would come on a Super Nintendo cartridge, sign me up. That was the most exciting thing.
This is
the
not
most exciting product
16-bit.
I'd ever worked on.
No. He's talking about what it started as.
Yeah, but he also said a lot of things were 8-bit that were not 8-bit.
They were
don't trust
not.
his bit count. I don't trust it.
He apparently didn't go to the Atari Lynx school. No, it was the Jaguar. You know that one Jaguar commercial?
Yeah.
They're like, this one's 16 bits. This one's 32. We got 64 of them sons of bitches. He apparently didn't go to class that day.
He skipped it.
Still just supposed to be a novelty, but as the development went on, everybody was looking at it thinking this looks pretty good. This actually looks really good. And so they just kept on going with it. They could have stopped a lot sooner, and they could have stopped with just a little simple novelty game, but they just kept going. And I kept looking at
This is
thinking,
exciting.
yeah, keep going. And they kept going, and I would keep looking at it. It just turned into this big, full-fledged, full-sized game. So we obviously decided to venture away from strictly the cartridges, so that everybody can be able to play it on
Oh,
Steam
you
and
meant like
everything.
actually on
really
a
unique. It's just-
cartridge.
Yeah, Megacat makes like cartridges.
Okay, obviously Into the Pit's gonna be great, and having it be a full game is gonna be great. But imagine I buy Into the Pit and I play it on my Super Nintendo.
Can we get the prototype as like a pre-order bonus? Scott Cawthon, my one and only true love, please. Pretty please. I don't even have an SNES, but God, I want to play that. I'd emulate it. Give us the ROM. Give us the fucking ROM. I'll be okay with that. Although it would be nice to play it on actual hardware, of which I don't have, because I'm poor.
It's a really
The game
unique
around stores around here
I do
suck.
love that it really gets into just this really gritty kind of gritty graphics that I haven't seen since, well, I guess since the late 90s, whenever you had those point and click type adventures and you had that real kind of that pixelated art style that can be really creepy at times. I don't know. It's going to be a really unique experience, and I think that everyone's going to really be excited about it. I really do.
Awesome. I can't wait to play it. How has it been working with Megacat Studios then?
Oh, it's been great. It's been really great. I really haven't had to give them. I mean, I have had to give them direction, but for the most part, it's been weird. They would go into the hole for 6,
You mean
7,
into the
8
pit?
months at a time, and I wouldn't hear anything from them. To the point where I thought, is this okay? And I would even, I talk to the other people that I work with, like, is this game okay? Is this going to be okay? Are they okay? Do I need to check on this? Do we need to check on them over there? But then I would get an update, and it would just be all this crazy new stuff and all this crazy detail, this fluid animation. It's just crazy stuff. And then they'd go back into the hole again for 5, 6, 7 months, and then we just repeat that cycle. But now here we are finally at the end of that road, and I think it's just turned out really great. Like I said, really unique, and I think everybody's going to really like it.
The reaction to the trailer has been amazing. All positive feedback about it. Super excited. People love it. The story of Into the Pit as well. Into the Pit's probably my favourite Fazbear Fright story. So with all the positive feedback about it, what do you see for the future of FNAF spin-offs made by other studios in the future?
Oh, it's definitely a possibility. In fact, I'd really like them to start working on Fetch. I think Fetch would make a really good game after this. Some stories obviously cater more toward being a good game than others.
No, Fetch is that's the one about the dog.
No, I know what it is. Because like Into the Pit isn't an epilogue, but it ties directly into.
Oh
the
yeah, it ties into the epilogue.
So I'm asking if Fetch is too, because if Fetch
I don't remember.
isn't, then that's really interesting that he specifically wants that one.
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's an epilogue. I want the man in room 1213 or whatever. I can never remember the name.
1508 or something. It has an 8 in it.
1208.
1208. Yeah. I wanted to say 1208 at first, but then you said 12. I'm like, I'm going to say a different number now.
But I want that game where you play as the spirit tormenting William Afton until he explodes in the Fazbear warehouse. No, I want to see the explosion.
It's just an extra cutscene. You got to beat 5120.
They add Peepaw Afton to UCN. You gotta beat him, and then you get a cutscene of him violently shaking that, like the Fredbear scene of him violently shaking there, and then once it zooms in far enough, it's just.
I want an adaptation of the game where they play VR and then nuke the world with cancer.
I want to play Cancer game. It's got to be a VR game itself.
I still will get on it.
There's something really scary about the thought of something always being out there and kind of watching your house, and then trying to come in and do things for you. Like, this is kind of a scary thought. The thought that I might be online shopping looking for a specific thing, and somehow something out there is hearing that and receiving that, and then going to come to me,
The ad
sneak
algorithm.
inside and put it somewhere without me knowing that it was there. It's just a creepy scenario. It's a creepy setup. And I think it'd be a really cool game to have to stop this thing, because obviously
It's like the
Fetch
shoemaker
was
and
out
the elves.
doing a lot of menacing things, to have to sneak around a neighborhood and stop this thing that's sneaking around so undetected. I don't know. I think it'd be a really cool game. So hopefully that'll be the next project. We'll see.
As the franchise has grown bigger, what challenges have you faced with running this size? Is there anything you could be doing better?
I think something I should have maybe been doing better is I should have had a better structure in place as far as people to talk to the fan base. You know, I've always kept that on myself all during the years, and in the early years, I think that worked great because it was a little indie game, a little indie community, and then me, the indie dev, just chatting with the community and talking. But as the years go by and the franchise gets bigger and bigger, I don't know. I feel like I've slowly kind of lost touch with the fan base. Unfortunately, it's not that same. It's not that same relationship that it used to be. I really used chatting with everybody and just kind of I don't know. And I guess that's expected, because FNAF is more of a big, it's kind of just kind of a bigger thing now, and it's bigger than one person, and I can't just pretend like I can hop online and chat with everybody and solve everybody's problems anymore. Used to, I kind of could. I could just go in there and
Yeah,
chat with
you
everybody and
could
resolve
if
little
you
problems, as
did
opposed to
that.
like just a squabble on a forum. I can always just step in and solve it, but it's just not the same. And I think that I should have realized that sooner. And I'm really only realizing that this year, that I really need to have a better structure in place. You know, and the fan base deserves that. The franchise deserves that. The
Took
fan
him
base
10
deserves
years.
that, to have
10
more
years to
people in
decide he
charge
needs a
and
community manager.
running a Twitter page, an official news feed, so that there's not so much confusion about what's real and what's not real, and real news and fake news, and is this confirmed, is this not confirmed. You know, I could have avoided years of that if I just kind of had a better structure in place with
In regards to
people
what
to
everyone
listen
is
to,
saying
and
about the books,
like I said, a news
yes, that is
feed, and
correct.
someone else to provide better answers to the fan base. So I'm trying to get all that in place, and I really think I think it would just better serve the fan base. And I think everybody would be a little happier if it's not just me trying to jump in and straighten things out when needed.
Yeah, I think the Twitter's a great idea.
Yeah.
We're recording this in June, but you know it was announced today. The schedule for what's coming out during that week is really exciting and really good. So people, you know,
Schedules
get,
change.
you know, get excited.
Still
for the
wrong.
anniversary, they kind of know what's coming,
I
which
want to
is
see
really
what Steel's
exciting.
been hiding,
And you
so
know,
that I can
communication like
understand
that,
why the schedule
you know,
changed.
It's you know, people have really appreciated that. So thank you for doing that. And looking forward to seeing what happens next on the Twitter, what they announce. And apart from the second movie to look forward to, is there anything else you could hint at for the future? Any
Wait,
future
we skipped
titles or
over Help
any little
102.
hints to get people excited for the future?
Again.
One of the good things is going to be coming from Steel Wool, but that's going to be announced here in this same week that your interview is going to air. So I think that's it. In fact, I'm not sure if it was right before this or right after this.
Yeah,
it might have been right after this.
Yesterday.
Nope, it's
Yesterday.
after.
Okay. And obviously everybody knows about the movie, and right now
Really glad they kept that vague.
Interactive books.
Yeah,
which
imagine he's like, oh, it was yesterday. Okay, I'll say what it is now. And then
I-
Daco forgot
Daco
to see
would've-
the video.
Daco would have cut it out immediately, I bet you.
Well, yeah, but imagine that he forgot it was discussed. So he just left it in.
I don't think I could ever discuss or forget anything if I discussed it with Scott fucking Cawthon.
Well,
That is.
I mean, yeah, because I guess Daco didn't know at this point in time. At the time of recording, it hadn't happened, so I guess, yeah. But
yeah,
just imagine.
Oh, hello there. There's a moth in my
I'm
room.
excited about those, and I've tried to add some depth into those to where you can actually collect items in them and things like that. So it's really not just
Oh, he's talking about the books.
Everybody knows about the books.
He's talking about
those,
VIP.
Yeah.
And
interactive books,
the
which I
And
read
the
things
before-
like
the
that growing
week-
up, and
the
so
week
I'm
before.
excited about those.
Right.
And I've tried to add some depth into those to where you can actually collect items in them and things like that. So it's really not just about picking a path; it's about picking a path and getting something, and then going to the other path and being able to use something. So it makes it more interesting and more intricate. But yeah, I mean that's the plan for movies, games, and books. And I already told you my hope for the next Mega Cat game, and and there
This
is
is a
another
never
game
never.
planned with Steel Wool, but that's not going to be
Two?
for a while yet. So I can't talk.
Hold on, 2?
Yeah, so he said this is why I reacted when he was talking about the Steel Wool announcement this time, because he said one of the big things is coming from Steel Wool and it's going to be announced this week. Whenever I heard from Twitter spoiling the interview that Scott said there's another game with Steel Wool that won't be announced for a while yet, I took that to mean like, oh, the Steel Wool announcement's not going to be that big. But is Scott still considering the Steel Wool announcement a big thing?
Fall Fest, Fall Fest, Fall Fest, Fall
I think it
Fest.
probably is going to be Help Wanted 2 DLC, but it's not going
Probably.
to be like a Dreadbear if Scott's calling it a big thing.
I think it's one of two things. The next Steel Wool thing is Help Wanted 2 DLC, or Help Wanted 2 DLC is Fall Fest.
Well, he said that there's another game.
Whatever
form
is
of
next is
Steel Wool.
Carnival. Whatever is next that's going to be announced is whatever Carnival is.
Well, we could get something like, I don't know. It's hard to say because Carnival might be a bigger project in and of itself. The Carnival could be that big game that Scott's talking about that won't be announced yet. But I think I agree though. I think next is Carnival, and I cannot wait to see Fall Fest.
I'm going to oh, that's gonna be a good day.
Because we have been #1 Fall Fest enjoyers since, I guess not since Dreadbear, because I didn't play Dreadbear until this marathon, but since before it became as relevant as it is.
Since we started understanding that Fall Fest was a thing,
Because
since we became cognizant of
because
it.
I didn't play Dreadbear until like right before Help Wanted 2 came out, but we became Fall Fest enjoyers before Help Wanted 2 made it incredibly evident that it was going to be a big thing.
Yes. Back, all the way back, whenever we were seeing anything that was in Dreadbear and saying Dreadbear reference.
Yeah.
It goes all the way back to that.
But like Fall Fest, even like in Dreadbear, was really interesting to me because it was already connected to FNAF 4.
Yeah,
'Cause
with
FNAF 4
83.
is my favorite. Well, not just 83, that too. Because like with FNAF 4 already being my favorite
Yeah.
FNAF aesthetic, having Fall Fest be like at the FNAF 4 title screen, like
Oh
you can
yeah, I
see
forgot about
house.
the world that it exists in.
Yeah. So like that already
And it
directly
is literally just the
connects
FNAF
it
4
to
name.
FNAF 4. And with
Yeah.
it's just so interesting to me, and now it being more of a prevalent thing in the lore overall, like with the Mimic tying into it, like everything at this point converging onto Fall Fest. I'm just so interested to finally see what it is.
That carousel.
Was your
That
favorite ride the carousel?
fucking carousel. It is older than fuck. It gets burnt down, but it's still somehow at the Pizzaplex. As late as... What would that be? Shortly before security breach takes place.
Well, there's also Help Wanted 2.
What do you mean?
The carousel's there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Help Wanted 2 is after security breach takes place.
When
It's before Ruin.
does...
Because Help Wanted has the minigame where you give Roxy the faceplate she has in Ruin.
after she's been shattered by Gregory.
Question: when Carousel take place?
What?
When does Carousel take place?
The mini game?
Yeah.
I'm assuming, like,
I have never entirely cracked how Help Wanted presents its information, but I just kind of assumed that they all kind of took place
The
at
way
the
that
same
I've
time.
seen, the way I see it is it's not all at the same time. Like these are the like the life and times and activities, day to day workings of Fazbear technicians, except for Health Sister Location, which makes no sense.
But it's confusing
Um,
just in general because like the game presents itself at the start as like a training program for new employees, but you're playing as someone who has been an in-universe established mechanic for Fazbear Entertainment for a long time.
yeah, I don't know.
And it's not
I
like,
don't
oh,
know.
the game takes place when he was new, because again, Roxy.
I don't know.
So like I don't entirely understand what Help Wanted 2 is. Like I
'Cause,
understand the
okay,
story it tells for the most part, but I don't understand what the game is.
it takes place simultaneously before and after Ruin.
I guess. Well, not after Ruin.
You play in the ruined Pizzaplex. Take off the mask.
You don't. It's not the Pizza Plex, the Pizza Place, which you see in base game, not
Or
in
Pizza
Ruin.
Place, I meant. Sorry. My bad. What, don't you see it in Ruin?
No.
Am I having an
Okay.
aneurysm?
Yes. Sorry. Yes. Because that's where the mimic chases you. But like you don't really. It's the same one from Security Breach, not from Ruin.
Well, it has to take place. Or some part of it has to be after Ruin, because
I
you
don't
see,
agree.
or at least during Ruin,
Consider
contemporary
that
to Ruin,
the ending of Help Wanted 2 is giving
is,
Cassie the mask.
is being Maskbot.
So
Yeah,
the ending is before Ruin.
yeah. It has to be
Because like the way
either.
I interpret it is the game is just before Mixus is set up.
It also has to. It has to be after. Has to be after Security Breach, but before Ruin. Because Vanny.
yeah,
And Princess Quest 3.
because I think both endings are before Ruin, and none of the minigames take place after Ruin, but some of the minigames might take place before Security Breach. Like, food service. But not all of them, because you have, like, Ruin Chica.
And yeah,
Or
all of the
Shattered
ones.
Chica, not Ruin Chica.
All of the ones after you take off the mask, those take place after Security Breach. All of the ones
But it's
whenever
also
you have
like
the mask on.
because like again, bringing back up the whole training program thing, especially now with VIP and me being informed about the funny VR book. What if all of those things that are during day-to-day activities of the Pizzaplex are actually just a VR world, not the real Pizzaplex? Like, that they're using the VR technology as their training program. Then the question becomes, well, why is Bon Ibali doing that if he's, again, already an established mechanic? But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's established that Helpy, the Mimic Helpy, is part of that system and is encouraging us actively to do things.
Helpy is VIP. Helpy is VIP. Helpy is VIP.
I mean, kind of. I would not be entirely surprised if one of the endings of VIP is like ends up with him shifting from a pig to a bear.
Great, and I'm not playing Fortnite right now. We're having FNAF discussions. There's lore to be discussed.
So I
Anyways,
think that actually does help explain what Help Wanted 2 is, and the inconsistencies with both the mask and the minigames not making sense with the timeline. I think that is what it is.
Possibly. We'll see, though. Hopefully we get some more concrete information with the next
DLC
one.
should help.
Hopefully. You have unlocked additional holiday content.
I was getting so
Talk
sick of
about
him
that, but
saying
there is
that.
something down the pipe.
Experience medieval times.
Experience medieval times in Chicago.
That's the collaboration with FNAF.
Okay.
Even beyond what's being announced this week, there's something beyond, but I can't talk about that.
Yeah, so I won't spoil anything, but I read the week before, guys, and it is good. So please, check it out
Does it
when
come
it
out?
comes out.
September.
I'm looking forward to the Into the Pit one.
That's what I thought.
VIP is the interactive novel VIP another one as well?
Yes, yeah. VIP it's one that I did with Scholastic, just like the others, but it's just going to be free. It's specifically for this event. I mean, I might still be included in a box set later down the road.
That would be
But
cool.
no, for this week, it was made specifically for this event, by the same author, I believe, as the week before. So if you enjoyed that one, you'll enjoy VIP. And I really love the story for VIP. I'm not going to ruin it, but it might be one of my favorites. So hopefully everybody really enjoys that.
That's awesome. I'm pretty sure it comes out before the interview, so
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Future me, if you're watching, probably loved it. There is a collab announcement tomorrow from this interview. Whatever it is, I don't know, but it seems that
He's
been
talking
more
about
open
Fortnite.
with collaborations with
Possibly.
games recently. The Funko one as well. Are you more open to more collabs since we last spoke during the last interview? Would you be interested in whatever it is? I don't know, like Fortnite or Dead by Daylight. Have those popped into your head at all? Or
I'm very careful with collaborations because I want to protect the brand and I want to make sure that Five Nights at Freddy's stays as Five Nights at Freddy's. And there are some games where even if I really enjoy the game, it just doesn't feel like a good match. It feels like a mismatch. The brand integrity is the most important thing for me, and keeping everything feeling like it belongs. And so that's really been my only hesitancy. I feel like I am branching out a little bit, and I am a little bit more open to those things than maybe I was in the early years, but I'm still very careful about it. We'll just see. We'll see how things go.
okay.
Yeah, he didn't mention Fortnite.
Anything else you would like to add?
Dawko did. Dawko said Dawko said the word Fortnite to Scott Cawthon. That's all I needed.
Right, but like that's not like Scott like confirming or denying Fortnite.
I mean, of course he wouldn't confirm or deny it.
Yeah.
But like the way I saw something on Twitter, I saw somebody say something on Twitter that made it sound like he said something that hinted at it being Fortnite. He did not. I'm gonna cry. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I don't want to wait till the update announcement to know if I'm gonna have to go write my suicide note.
The problem with that is like I'm going to be working when it happens.
I'll let you know.
Well, it might be at 12, I guess. It's possible.
I've got to go drive. I've got to go drive around to give people their orders.
So either way, one of us is going to be working when it happens, and there's no way the other is going to be able to avoid it.
Oh, I'm going to be actively looking for it. There's no way, if it's Fortnite, it is literally unavoidable. There are two sides of Fortnite, no, three sides of Twitter that I'm on. I'm on FNAF Twitter, I'm on Fortnite Twitter, and I'm on 21 Pilots Twitter, which is one of these things is not like the others. But like, if FNAF gets in Fortnite, it will be unavoidable for me. I will know. There will be no avoiding it.
Yeah.
I would have to genuinely just completely stay off Twitter. Which I tried to do as much as I could today, but there's only so many things you can do in the 15 minutes between dropping off this guy's Wingstop and picking up this guy's Popeyes.
Exactly. That's where I got most of my stuff too. Not Popeyes, but you know.
Yeah. So Wingstop? But like, it's gonna be an interesting day tomorrow. I'm gonna wake up and it's gonna be like, Five Nights at Freddy's has collaborated with Team Fortress 2. They have added a 10th class,
It's Team Fortress.
Night Marionette.
No. No,
Nah, realistically, it's fucking Stumble, guys.
Wait, what? Okay, hold on. Hit continue.
See here. No, I mean, I think things are in a good place, and like I said, I think that the things that are on the horizon are all things to be excited about, and I think that everybody's going to really enjoy. The things that the fan base really going to enjoy. And I wish I could talk about those more, but I don't feel like I can.
So, do you think we're going to have another interview in 10 years' time?
It doesn't have to be 10 years. We can try to do this a little bit more often.
But, what, every 5 years?
Yeah, every 5 years. There we go.
Okay. Shaking your hand.
Just make it a
virtually.
regular thing.
Okay, awesome. The biggest thing that everybody has been begging me for this interview when I announced it is the box. That is, everybody just wants to know anything about it because it's the biggest mystery out of the whole 10 years of FNAF, I would say. Maybe Midnight Motorist is number 2. But yeah, I'd say the box is the biggest mystery that everybody wants, like even a tiny snippet of.
Come on, give me
something.
Give me something. Anything.
Help.
Help.
Okay, well, I can try to give somewhat of
I'm
an
on the
answer
edge of my
to that,
seat right now.
even though it might not be
I just read this on
extremely
Twitter,
satisfying
so
for a
I'm
lot of
kinda pissed,
people.
but
So I would
wanna hear from
encourage
him.
people to turn off the interview if they don't want an answer that they might not be happy
would the
with.
community
But
accept it that way?
you know, whenever I'm making these games, there are a lot of things that are in my head that are just flowing ideas, and when I have them and put them there, it's the first half of something. It's like a string or a rope just like reaching out, and I know that what's there on the other end is there. I trust that it's there. I know that it's there, and then whenever I progress forward, the rest of that just reappears. The rest of it appears and just fits into place perfectly. That's how all my games have been made. I feel that there is something there, and I make the roads to get there for that to be revealed. But then sometimes when things do progress, the roads aren't always the same roads as the ones that had been planned before. And so what that means is, even though at the time something was definitely there, something was definitely reaching out to be there, and I could feel that it was there, the progression of the story didn't go there, and so those strings never got pulled on, and those and the other half of that idea remained in the ether, remained in my subconscious. All of that to say, there is something in the box, but I never pursued it, and I don't know if I can find it again. And I think that that's the best answer that I can possibly give for that.
So the answer is he doesn't know. He never
I'll
knew.
take it. I'll take it.
Honestly, even like just that is.
That means I don't have to care.
I don't want to.
That means I don't have to fucking
I
care.
don't want to say satisfying because that's not quite the answer. Or the.
It is
description.
liberating. It is liberating.
But like looking back at the what's in the box, it's the pieces put together. But would the community accept it that way? It's such like a vague nothing response for a guy who's sitting there going, "I haven't thought that far yet. Sorry." It's something, and I'll tell you.
He
what it
had
is.
an idea at the time.
What
At the
pisses
time,
me
he
off,
had an
though,
idea.
is he said that whenever we figure out FNAF 4 fully, he'll tell us. And then
Now
that
he
kinda
doesn't
just got
even know.
dropped. 'Cause,
And
like,
now he does.
I feel like we've probably solved FNAF 4 at this point, except for the box, but if he doesn't even know what the box is anymore, it's impossible.
What's in the box? Nightmare gas. Nightmare gas. I'm sorry. You had to hear this. It's nightmare gas.
Wait, hold on. This is great, actually.
What?
I am actually now ecstatic about this answer.
Why?
Twitter being stupid just assuaged my fears.
How?
So this dumb person on Twitter says, I don't ever want to hear that Dream Theory was not intended ever again. To which the thread creator responds with, you're going to hear it a lot more because the fact that the box was a setup for something down the line really completely destroys Dream Theory. And yeah, it does.
Oh my god, yeah, it does.
Because if the answer to the box was just supposed to be things that point to everything being a dream, it wouldn't have to be a setup. There would
They-
be nothing to set up because that's it.
Did-
We're
If
done.
the box was an answer, it wouldn't be set up. And yeah. No. I'm fucking ecstatic right now. That is that is better than anything else that possibly could have lived in that box, realistically. Is I don't know, the story never really went there. Because you know what that means? You know what that means? I don't have to give a shit.
I still care.
I don't have to ever think in my life again about the box. Because it doesn't matter. The box is inconsequential. It means nothing.
This will be funny later.
What?
I can't elaborate any further on that. I will tell you when it becomes funny.
Do I have to continue watching the video for it to be funny?
It's unrelated to the video. This is something
Please?
like a year or more down the line.
No! What the fuck does that mean?
Ignore it for now.
No! Okay, I need you to know you just put the largest seed of anxiety in my brain. Please don't do that to me.
You're
Is it
doing
good or
it to
bad?
yourself. It's good. It's good.
It has to do with my rant about not having to give a shit about the box?
It's just a funny situation that, like, when it happens, you'll look back and go, "Oh, that was really funny." It wasn't meant to be that deep.
I'm scared now.
It's nothing to be scared of.
Chase, you know who you're talking to, right?
Listen to the words I'm saying.
You know who you're talking to, right?
I'm not lying.
You know who you're talking to, right?
Hit the play button.
Scott, thank you so much for the interview. Myself and everybody really does appreciate it. We're looking forward to the future. We're looking forward to this week. Future me is probably stressing out, playing all the demos and getting ready for Into the Pit in a few days. I'm so excited for Into the Pit. I really, really am. And all the fanverse stuff as well. My Pop Goes and The Joy of Creation, that demo. I'm looking forward to playing all of those as well and reading the new book. There's a lot in that week. I'm going to just be MIA that whole week. I've already told my friends and family, like, I'm not going to be here for the whole week. Don't call me. Don't text me. I'm going to be in this room just doing everything I can that week. And yeah, we really do appreciate it. So yeah, I think that's it. Which is really weird. That hour went so quick. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Without you guys watching the channel, you know, I wouldn't be doing this in the first place, interviewing Scott. So it really does mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. And yeah, I hope you all have a fantastic 10-year anniversary week and you're all enjoying yourselves playing the demos and reading the books and stuff and are excited for Into the Pit. And Steel Wars announcement as well. That's so exciting. But yeah, thank you, Scott. I appreciate it.
Really funny.
So yeah, we'll both leave now.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for having me, Doctor.
The box. A very pressing topic.
Well, I think that
at this
was.
day and age.
I think that was a pretty interesting interview, actually.
I'd go as far as to call it a pretty decent interview.
It was a lot more interesting than I was expecting it to be. Like, you said a lot of disappointing things, but like a lot of things that are good to hear.
See what the people's reactions are. Love the part where he says it's Cawthon time, and then Cawthon's on the entire
Scott
fan
really
base.
took the "some things are best left forgotten" thing literally. He probably
He
was.
meant it.
What's in the box? Ivory board.
Some of these stories were based on my real life stories.
I
Who
really
knows?
like
Maybe
this.
Scott was trapped inside a murderous bear's stomach hatch.
I really like the story about the killer clown costumes.
He's wakes up bolt upright and fucking 5 a.m.
What have I done?
What have I done?
They're out there somewhere.
The clowns.
They're coming for me. And then he just opens the door and goes, "Yeah, never mind, guys, bye." And then it's like, all right.
Read the fucking books. Read the fucking books.
I feel like that is the exact amount of context that should get you to immediately read the books.
That should make you go, what the fuck is going on in these books? Hold on, I gotta read these. Dawko's sleep paralysis demon is buff Helby.
Oh yeah, that reminds me, because Scott was talking about like how he doesn't really understand what a sleep paralysis demon is, but it happened. And I've actually done research on this in the past, so I actually have an answer for that. But I'm not going to waste my time telling that story if you already know.
Know what?
Yeah, you were way too busy highlighting that.
No, I was listening. I was listening.
What did I say?
Okay, you can't ask me what did you say. I have the gist of what you said
Clearly
locked into
not.
my brain.
If
I understand.
If you had
Something
to ask,
about a pre-sleep paralysis demon.
if you had to ask, know what, then you didn't get the gist of what I said. Yeah, something about a sleep paralysis demon, but that is not the gist. That is like
If
half
you
a
already
sentence.
know that, you said if you already know that, I won't.
Yeah,
Know
you missed
what?
the entire middle of my sentence.
Okay, can you repeat it for me then?
I said that Scott said he didn't know what a sleep paralysis demon was, but it happened to him, so he didn't really understand what it, like, how it works or anything like that. I
Yeah?
said that I have done research on this topic in the past, and I actually do know.
Oh.
Like, I know what causes that. But I said I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole of saying that if you already know.
I did miss you researched it. I did not. I have zero fucking clue.
Yeah, okay. So, sleep paralysis is pretty straightforward in, like, that itself. Your mind's awake, but your body's not. Your body's still asleep.
I know how sleep paralysis works.
Yeah.
It happens to me constantly.
But I need to get there to get to the point.
Yeah.
And everyone knows that, like, a dead weight is called dead weight because a dead body weighs a lot because you don't have any of the muscles, like, holding itself up.
Yeah.
So limp is a lot heavier than stiff. But that is the cause of it. All that weight from your body being turned off confuses your brain, and your brain feels that you're being weighed down, and it's trying to come up with some reason as to why you would be being weighed down. So it
Oh, so it
conjures up-
imagines something on top of you.
Yes. It conjures up a nightmarish demon to explain why you cannot move.
Oh! Oh. Oh.
Which I think is really interesting and really stupid.
Is that like how your brain it's not is that it is like how your brain, if there's no noise around you, it will make up noises to keep you from being bored, I guess.
It goes, it's too quiet, this isn't right, we have to fix this. You're hearing something. It's like you're feeling something, but there's nothing here. That can't be right. You have to be feeling something for a reason. So let's just fill in that blank for you.
Bird. Whoa, plague be upon ye, Blackbird.
It's like it's not specifically meant to be scary, but
That's where it goes usually.
there's that lack of communication between like your thoughts and your subconscious brain. So your subconscious brain just throws something together, and you're like, "What the hell is that?"
It's on top of me. It asks what the hell is on top of me, and your brain goes, well, it'd be really scary if this was on top of you, and it doesn't fucking go through the filter, so it just goes directly to your fucking eyeballs, and suddenly, fucking Nightmare On is there.
Dear God, no. Because like sometime in like middle school, I was really, really, really obsessed with the idea of lucid dreaming. So I have been doing a lot of research on any related topic: sleep paralysis, lucid dreaming, just sleeping in general. So
Okay.
I learned a lot of interesting things during that, such as the reasoning behind sleep paralysis demons.
How did I not know about your little paralysis deep dive?
Oh, sorry, I said middle school. I meant intermediate.
That's how I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It was whenever I barely knew you.
Yeah, it was like around 5th grade.
Yeah, because if it was middle school, I'm pretty sure I would have caught wind of that somehow.
No, I was a little too caught up in my self-absorbed hatred spree. In middle school.
A weird fucking time, man. Let's not go into detail about that on stream.
But moral of the story, it actually has no bearing on a moral of any story. I just like that segue. Unfortunately, despite all my research, I never actually got to experience any of it.
You never got to lucid dream?
Or sleep paralysis. I've never.
Well, I mean,
experienced any of
sleep
that.
paralysis isn't really something you can induce, to
It
my
is.
knowledge. What?
Like, you can't, like, necessarily have a 100% success rate out of it. You can definitely increase the odds. Like, one of the main... Because, like, falling asleep during sleep paralysis is one of, like, an easy way to induce lucid dreaming. But, like, the idea behind inducing the sleep paralysis is, like, you know how whenever you're laying down and you get the urge to, like, turn, like,
Yeah.
roll over. The
Often.
idea is that if you consistently fight that for long enough, your brain goes, oh, okay, so you're already asleep, and it shuts down your body before you.
Oh. I might try that. But you have to be sleeping, like, on your back?
Ideally.
Oh. Maybe I won't. I have to sleep on my side. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I have to be sleeping on my side or else I'm fucking uncomfortable as hell. Like, I can barely breathe.
I used to not be able to sleep on my back, but now that's just kind of how I sleep.
You are a psychopath.
Not exclusively. Like, I definitely still turn in awkward directions, but...
I have to be facing the TV.
No, because, like, you remember how I, like, complained about my knees the other day? Because, like, you're
Yeah.
like, I'll just press the button with your knee, and I'm like, ah ha 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 ha, no.
Yeah, I remember your knees that you're constantly complaining about.
Yeah, I used to sleep on my stomach, and now I can't do that because of my knees.
You slept on your stomach?
Yeah.
Are you a genuine murderer?
Sleeping on your side is disgusting.
American Psycho.
Not like face first, like my head's turned.
I don't care how your face is.
That's a
You're
very
fucking
normal sleeping position.
stomach down, ass up. Terrible way to sleep.
Look up sleeping positions.
Hold on. Okay, sidetrack from FNAF. We're going to somnophobia now. That was a... Is that a Fazbear Frights book?
Tails.
Yes, it is a Tails.
It's Moon.
That's what I meant. Also, but yeah, it's the one with Moon on it.
Yeah.
I see 0 people on their stomach.
And I see 2 people on their side, so you're a freak of nature. There's one. Okay, get rid of that one. Okay, well, it also says side sleeping's bad, so...
I
deal with it.
sleep position.
Regardless.
No, I sleep like this. I sleep like this. I sleep like this.
Okay, sure.
That's me.
Regardless.
This person's a psychopath.
That's the one.
That's psychopath behavior.
It's legitimately not. It's perfectly normal. Everyone does it.
Nobody
you're the
fucking
weird
does
one.
that.
You're the weird one.
I'm not the weird one.
Chat agrees with me.
To imply that I am the weird one.
Regardless.
But this guy, terrible,
That guy's
awful.
normal. That guy's normal.
This one's me. This one's me.
That one's
I sleep
freak
like
of nature.
this. I sleep like this.
You're not in
Genuinely.
your mother's womb. Stop acting like it.
I have to. Do you not have to be holding something to fall asleep?
No.
I hold on to my pillow.
I can't hold on to something and fall asleep. That's weird.
I think you're the weird one here.
Yeah, the human body was not designed to latch onto things to sleep.
I'm sorry,
The
but
pillow is
like
for your head. It's to elevate your neck.
the pillow goes from my head, under my head, in my arms, between my legs.
What
That's how
fucking
you
pillow
sleep.
do you have that can fit all there?
Gabriel Ultra Kill.
I didn't mean to ask that question. Didn't need to know about your body pillow.
It was given to me as a joke. It was a gag gift.
Sure.
But like it's really funny.
Sure
It's so
was.
funny. Look at it. It's funny. It's so Gabriel of the Bible. That's fucking funny.
Regardless, moral of the story is that I can't sleep like that anymore because my knees touching the mattress is sensory nightmare.
Jesus.
It's not like
That's
it
rough,
hurts.
buddy.
It's just like ah.
Yeah, no, I know. Look, you don't have to explain sensory nightmare to me, buddy.
I know, but
I know sensory
I've described
nightmare.
it as pain before, so I'm just clarifying that it's not like I need like to seek a doctor. My knees are exploding. It's just ah.
It's just it's
I don't know
it's
how all
gargling.
that sound goes over the mic.
It's like a weird gargling.
It's Latios going through an exorcism.
Latios going through an exorcism?
Yeah. Let me see if I can find the clip. That clip still lives in my head rent free. Here it is. Here it is.
Oh, you have it? You actually have it?
Yeah.
Give me it.
I am. We can watch it on stream. I don't care.
Is the one. As long as you're able to coordinate your movement, you pretty much can take most of the money away from
Watch
this.
Yoshi.
Most of the money away from this.
Oh, she got fucked! I will say, yeah, that's a pretty apt description of sensory nightmare.
Like, I will just be minding my own business and some mild inconvenience happens, and then all I can think of is Yoshi falling off the conveyor belt going, ah!
Exorcism.
I miss the Mario Party League. Nintendo killed it.
Nintendo killed it?
Last year, whenever they updated their policies for hosting events with their games,
What the fuck?
Lufsy ended up not meeting the new criteria, so they're actively, like, they've been reorganizing, trying to figure out how to make it live without being axed by Nintendo.
I've been wondering why I haven't been hearing about anything to do with the Mario Party League. I guess
Yeah.
that's why.
Season 7 last June is still the last time anything happened.
God.
Yeah. I was like, I wanted to sign up for the next one, and like, I guess it's good I didn't because I do not have the time for it anymore. Unfortunately, I don't have a consistent.
I have
schedule
the
at moment.
time.
I don't have a consistent.
Chase,
Do you
Chase,
know
I
how
need you
much
to
I would
coach me.
sob?
Chase, I need you to coach me.
Because they haven't been doing anything recently. I'm rusty. I'm extremely rusty. I'm not good at these games anymore.
I have never been good at any of these games.
I still am like halfway good at mashing from when I speedran Metroid Dread. Because I was doing a mini game in Kingdom Hearts with Logan, and like mashing's a part of it, and I got like a way higher score than he did, and I missed more notes. It was a rhythm game, and he's like, "What the hell? How?" I'm like, "I guess I just mashed better. Sorry." It
Oh yeah,
wasn't.
I
It was
forgot.
not. It wasn't melody memory.
No, I know. This is completely separate from your anecdote. I'm
Raw
looking for
Min.
something. That looks like something Jay Schlatt would title something as a joke. No, Flaff, shush.
Never say that again.
I love Flaff, but shush. How is the gameplay of this game played?
Good. I like it. You gotta stop looking through those pictures.
Okay. Why?
Because melody and memory, its plot is going through the plots of all the other games, but in a rhythm game mode. So all those screenshots are spoiling different games.
I know about the plot of Kingdom Hearts.
Right, but we're
If-
doing a Kingdom Hearts marathon. You gotta stay as fresh as possible.
I gotta stop getting you to get me to do marathons. I need to make you do a marathon of something I like.
Fallout, FNAF.
FNAF was mutual.
I mean, yes, but it was still your idea to do it.
Fair, but like
Why is EDF 4 and 5 alone down there?
I have no idea. Did I have them in my favorites? I guess I haven't put EDF 6 in my favorites.
Why isn't Insect Armageddon there?
Because I only put bad games up here.
Ah, okay.
Can I do something? Hold on. Earth proper manage. Hide this game. There we go.
No!
Perfect.
You haven't even played Iron Rain or World Brothers yet.
I don't want to touch that game ever again in my life.
We have to finish it.
I know we have to finish it, and I'll unhide it. Just not on stream. I can't have them show that. I can't show them that I'm weak. You ever played this game?
No. I'm a fake Scott fan. I want to.
I was just about to say fake fucking Scott fan.
I've always wanted to play the Desolate Hope, I just haven't. Why is
If it
EDF
didn't take
4 all alone down there? I know why, it's because you searched.
Because it says despair.
I know. The future of despair.
I'm sad that it doesn't have the thing on the title. I wish it had Earth Defense Force 6. What is it? The future of despair.
Yeah. It's because the Shadow of New Despair is a title, and Live the Future of Despair is a tagline.
How many spoilers will I get if I click on the game in my Steam library?
0?
Red Planet.
Unless you go down to the trading cards. I haven't thought to look at those yet.
Oh boy, that's a great idea. I should go look at the trading card.
I don't actually know if there are trading cards. Close your eyes and scroll down, I'll tell you. There are not. That's why I didn't see them. store page has 1 million spoilers.
Oh no! Oh god!
Why did you do that?
My eyes, they burn! I didn't see anything. Because that wasn't there before. That didn't used to be there.
It's been there literally since the game came out.
Typically,
That's the launch trailer, and I told you that was there.
typically, I can pause it, and it's not there.
It's the thumbnail.
It's a black screen.
It's the thumbnail.
Typically, it loads. Typically, it loads faster than that. And I never see that. Well then, I hope nobody here wanted to play EDF 6 blind. I didn't anyways. I'll forget about it in about 5 minutes. Especially since I saw the color red and that's about it.
Good, because I know exactly what it was.
I know you do. But like, I saw the color red and black in a shape, and that's about it.
Anyway. I like how you asked before you went to the safe spot, and then didn't ask when you went to the spoiler zone.
That's how I function, Chase.
You don't function.
Don't you know? Exactly. Vip.
Anyway, let's go save our brother, unfortunately.
No, we did that already.
No, but we're gonna do it, like, better, because we're gonna go see Vip.
No, I thought we were gonna go to the VIP lounge.
That's gonna see Vip. That's where he is, remember? If we get 100,000 points, we get to have a one-on-one conference with him in person.
Okay. So we're gonna go to the alcove.
No,
We're gonna go. What was that?
we still have 3 fast tokens.
Oh, you're right. I thought we were just gonna go down to double.
I mean, I guess we could. I guess there's really not a reason not to.
Because we can get that in like one run through. Because everything's worth 100.
100 times. But that means we'll
Yeah.
be getting 10,000 points a go and not 100,000.
Yeah, we'll be getting.
So if
Yeah.
if we spam Phaser Blast, we can do it.
We can't really spam Phaser Blast.
Yeah, we can go into Mo again. Remember, it very specifically said 2 times or more is multiplied by 100, which means we can keep going.
Okay.
So we can
Okay,
just
so-
spam Phaser Blast.
So we go down.
Because with the
we
score
put
we
in
have
the
right
helmet.
now, if we do Phaser Blast 3 times in a row, then we get 900 or 90,000. Wait, oh, we don't have 10,000. We have 1,000. Shit.
Yeah, we have 1,000.
I don't think we have enough fast tokens to win. Wait, hold on, no, because if we go and get the extra fast token from Balloon Boy every cycle,
We
then
can just
yeah,
keep going.
we
If
can
we
get
just
infinite
keep
points.
going, if we just keep going into the Mo, it resets our fast tokens.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. Yes, you keep items. It doesn't say it resets items.
Uh,
We don't get new fast tokens when we do that.
all game uses will be reset. You must restart this game from the beginning. All game uses will be reset. You can keep current points and replay any games you've played. I don't know. Okay, so how many do we have?
3 fast tokens.
We have 3. Okay, so we go in, we go to Balloon Boy, we grab that token. That instantly gives
Yeah.
us 4.
And then we spam Phaser Blast, and we'll have enough.
So we're going to the atrium. No, not the atrium. Rockstar Row. Display cases. Get the Faz coin. Turn to the atrium. Go to the. Have we gone to the Fazcade yet?
No. Now
Should we do that?
We can spend 1 fast token and not ruin anything.
Okay, let's see. Inside the Fazcade, the flashing lights, jangly music, and beeping game sounds meant to spark joy and excitement only fill you with a strange depression. You play games with your friends, and now he's gone, and so are your friends. All you have left is VIP and your guilt. Even the Chica candy crane machine near the center of the arcade reminds you of Ike. You consider trying to win a plush Mr. Cupcake from the claw machine. It looks like the game also awards points. What else could you play to get the most points? You push your way through the kids milling through the arcade, cluster around video game cabinets and pinball machine tables. You couldn't help but look for your brother in the pressing crowd. Your heart beats with your heart pounds in the beat with the music. Your head hurts, and sweat pours down your face. You look like you're having a panic attack. No, you look like you're having a panic attack. Vip says. Would you like to visit a health station? You want to get out of here. Not just the arcade, but the Pizzaplex. But you can't go home alone.
I sense
Out of all
that
the
you
video
are
game
broken.
here,
Sprint stream for first aid.
I sense that you are broken.
No, Freddy, I'm fine. Keep going. No.
Oh shit. Terrible job, super shit.
Just don't twist me into a meat pretzel.
Meat pretzels, you say? You want to get out of here, but not just the arcade, but the Pizzaplex. But you can't go home alone. At all the video games here, you decide that you bet the best at Mangle's Quest?
Well, let's plug it in then.
Oh, we're plugging in Mangle's Quest. He headed over the Mangle's Quest cabinet, hoping you could figure out what's wrong with it. Unfortunately, it seems likely that your high score will have been wiped out from its memory. The screen is dark, but there's no out-of-order sign. Like on the other broken games in the arcade, you peek around the back and see what the possible problem is. The machine's unplugged. You try to pull the cabinet away from the wall so you can get behind it, but it's too heavy. A couple kids see you straining to move it, but rather than help, they laugh as they pass by. You drop to your hands and knees and reach for the loose plug on the floor, but your fingers brush against it, but you can't quite grab it. Whatever you're about to, whatever. You're about to catch a glint of something amongst the dust. It comes with dust gathered behind the cabinet. You pluck it out and discover it's a coin. Not just any coin. It's a Faz token. Talk about buried treasure.
Well, okay then.
Well, now we know where to find it too.
Chica's Candy Crane, I guess. We don't have an option, actually, yeah, because the other one's if you've already played it.
As you approach Chica's Candy Crane, a little girl in pigtails trudges away from with her head down. As she cries as she bites into a chocolate bar. A sticker on the glass of the machine says, "Everyone's a winner." There's only one Mr. Cupcake inside, buried at the center of the machine. Up to its eyes an assortment of sweets. This close, you realize it isn't a plush at all, but it's a plastic toy with movable parts, like a mini animatronic. You imagine Ike's joy when you hand him that toy. He had a Mr. Cupcake plush when he was a little, and there was a baby picture of him with in a Let's Eat bib with Chica's face. The claw of the crane game was a large yellow mechanical hand. You slide a token into the machine, second timer counts down. You grab the joystick and jerkily navigate the claw into position exactly over to the toy before its time is up. The claw descends, closes firmly around the cupcake's pink icing top. The fingers slip right off. Rigged. You smack the glass. Mr. Cupcake's eyes dart towards you, and you jump back. A bag of candy drops into the tray below, and 100 points flashes on the display. Add 100 points to your score, add candy to your inventory, remove one Faz token from your
Hell
inventory.
yeah.
So we get 10k from that.
Okay. I've got everything set up. I find... Because I always wondered what happened to Mr. Cupcake from Glamrock Chica's setup. Apparently Mr. Cupcake got delegated to arcade game. Rigged arcade game.
Sounds about right. Alright, so we are going to the atrium.
Yes.
We're going to Fazer Blast. I've already read all this. We gotta practice, man. And hear the Toreador March. take the high ground. We take the purple flag, right?
Yeah,
Purple flag. We did. All right, so that's 30K. Then we have 3 tokens left.
Yes.
I think we might actually be able to get through. But what's it called? Yeah, no more fast tokens. We have to fast tokens. Oh,
We go to
so
the arcade game alcove. Unless we want to do another run at Monty Maze. Or another run of Roxy Raceway since we killed the girl last time.
do we have the tokens to burn for that?
Yeah, because we have 2 every cycle now.
Oh, we do, don't we?
Yeah, we have 3 right now, so we can afford to do all of them here. I say Roxy Raceway first because I think it'll be... We don't need to... Yeah, okay.
Go into the pit. All right. Do we take or leave VIP?
We do everything the same except we don't try to block the girl.
We sneak VIP in. We choose the Bonnie cart. Maintain speed. Get out of her way.
Okay. As she zoom... Sorry, you're reading.
You just took over there.
I locked in for a second.
As she zooms up on your left, you edge her out of her way, right up to the barrier. You're on a straightaway, so she drives alongside you for a moment. Why are you helping me? You ask. You're welcome, she laughs. I love go-karting, and I just want other people to enjoy it as much as I do. Is that so surprising? You feel terrible. Her words make you realize you hardly ever think about other people's happiness, only about how you get what you want. You didn't even share your VIP pass with Ike, even though you knew how much he wanted to come to the Pizzaplex and meet Chica. And then you abandoned him. This is your fault. Lost in thought, you slowed down a bit, but you're close enough to the Chica go-kart to study how she's pushing it so fast. It seems to be an approach to the curves and impeccable timing of braking and turning. You're not sure for it, and you're unlikely to master it over the few remaining laps. In lap 5, you get your chance to place in the race. Though, the Roxy cart is driving erratically to prevent the Chica cart from getting ahead. As the boy steers left to block the girl, you see an opening to pass him.
Be the tortoise.
Give him some space?
Be the tortoise.
You're gonna cost us.
Here, hold on, no. Listen to me. Hear me out. 1, we have been instructed to listen to Vip. Despite Vip being the antagonist here, he has not steered us wrong. Everything he has said has been pretty valid. And 2, what is the boy doing right now?
Driving erratically?
No, right now.
Steers left?
To block the girl. What happened when we did that?
Oh, we killed her.
They wrecked. If we stay back, the wreck goes away from us, and we win, no questions asked. That's my thought process here.
Give them some space. It feels risky to attempt to pass the Roxy go-kart the way it's veering left and right unpredictably.
Anger.
So you slow down.
I hate this game.
Rewind time.
Keep reading. We can do it in a different mode loop.
We have the tickets to burn. The tokens. It feels risky to attempt to pass the Roxy go-kart in the way it's veering left and right so unpredictably. So you slow down and ignore the other 2 cars in favor of finishing the race with the best time you can manage. Are you even trying to win? Vip asks. I'm learning, you say, and I'm gradually getting better.
This asshole told us to be the tortoise, and we be the tortoise, and he wants to give us snark.
I always support learning, but you need to pick things up a bit. Or not, depending on how much you want your brother back.
You
Slow
said
and steady
tortoise.
wins the race, right?
Exactly, he said tortoise.
When you cross the finish line in 3rd place, Vip says, unfortunately, in this story, you are the hare.
How?
0 points.
What does that mean, Vip?
Vip is a bitch, and we hate him.
I'm pissed.
Alright. Do you think we could do the maze this time?
I
Or you
think
want to just go to the Cove?
we have enough tokens to do all of them this cycle. Next cycle, we have to sacrifice one.
I say we sacrifice the fucking.
We can't sacrifice Phaser Blast.
This Phaser Blast is our moneymaker. I say we sacrifice Monty Maze.
Okay, we can still do it this time, though.
Yeah, we're gonna do it this time. I don't have a balloon. What? It was left?
Yeah,
Left,
we
right?
hogged left up until the fog, and then we went right.
And then we went right, right? So we don't go left, right. We go. It's coming from the left.
Yeah, so I'll leave this one up to you since I cost us last time. We don't go right. Sound might be coming from left. Because we know when we went right, Monty came up from behind us. That could mean he came from either direction.
I say we go forward.
Okay.
You go straight until the path turns to the right and dumps you into a dead end. Something scratches on the other side of the wall. Something big, breathing heavily. Devin, I know you're there. It's Monty Gator. He tears away a plank from the wall and peers through the opening with one eye, looking over his star-shaped glasses. Party time! I don't know what this voice I'm doing is.
Monty.
I'm not giving him his accent, that's the issue. He grunts and leaps into the air. You look up and see his giant claws hanging from the top of the wall. What are you still doing here, you think? You turn and run back to last intersection. The maze trembles as he thumps along behind you. Which way? Better choose quick and hope you lose him.
Okay, this one pisses me off.
I guess we go left.
There's not enough information given to these directions for me to be able to answer this. Because last time, let's just say we're facing north to make this discussion easier. So we're facing north, and we went forward. Now we have returned back to that intersection, but that means we came from the north, which means we're now facing south, or whenever we got to the intersection, did we turn back around and we're facing north again? So is right east or is right west?
I have no idea.
Because I want to pick the way we didn't pick last time, but without knowing which way right is in this instance, I don't know which option that is. I'm going to assume that for the sake of consistency, they mean right is the way towards the fog and left is the way we heard the steps. Now we know that Monty is not there because he was on the other side of the forward wall. I say we go left.
Okay. We breathe. We go. 100 points.
Damn it! It was flipped. We're in the fog hall. We are facing south.
Damn.
See, I was right to be concerned. We still got 10,000 points, though.
So that's
We're at 50.
10, 20, 50. Yeah.
We're at
Which means
51,600.
we go back to the arcade game alcove. We go to the terminal. Put on the helmet. Start. We go to the Rockstar Row. Display cases. Get the Faz token. Turn to the atrium. Go to the Fazcade. Try to plug in Mangle's Quest.
Okay.
We've already played.
We're at 3 now. Technically, I guess this time we could play all of them again, because if we hit 0, we can still keep going, because we'll still find 2 more fast tokens. So this loop, we could play all 3 again. I don't know why I was thinking of it as 0 fast tokens is instant game over. That's not how it works.
Alright. Phaser Blast. Easy 30k.
Easy 30k.
High ground, purple flag. We did. Okay, that is 80k.
Yep.
Done and dusted. Okay, I have faith that we can finish Roxy now.
I have faith we can finish Monty as well.
We're gonna bring Vip. Gonna go with the Bonnie cart.
Maintain speed.
Maintain speed.
Get out of her.
Get out of her way.
And then pass him up.
Make your move. Damn it!
Let's read what happens.
You got it. You got it! The girl cheers you on. And stop leaning into your turns. Lean out! The boy cries out in frustration when your go-kart slips by him. He tries to ram into you from the left, but you slam the throttle and burst ahead, leaving him to scrape against the barrier and lose even more speed and more of his temper. He pursues you relentlessly around the around and around the course, over the arch midway that passes over the play area and the merry-go-round where you've lost sight. I'm coming, bro, you think. As you make those last tight turns in the final lap, you lean out like the girl suggested and feel your go-kart go faster as your weight shifts to the outside wheels. Thanks again, you think, pulling even further ahead of the boy who's supposed to be the fastest go-kart on the track. You laugh with sheer exhilaration as you cross the finish line in second place. You tumble out of your go-kart in the pit area and rush over to the girl. You offer a hand and she shakes it. Thank you, you say. I couldn't have done it without your help. What am I, chopped pork?
Boy,
Vip says,
I'm very confused.
wearing a white chef's hat and apron that says "Eat me."
How are we second?
Girl was in front of us.
No, because the boy was trying to block the girl, and we passed both of them.
I don't know. We're at 91 though.
That should have been first place. I don't understand. Oh well. Let's go see Monty.
Oh boy. No balloon. Left. Left.
Forward.
I think we could just go directly left from here.
I want to bait out Monty. I still think that was a good play. And now instead of left, we go right.
Okay. A short distance down the path, there's another intersection. You stop short just in time. Monty's standing on your left. The punk-haired animatronic is massive and muscular. His yellow and green segmented tail switches from side to side as he looks around. Fortunately, he's facing away from you, peering down the other corridor, but he can turn and spot you at any moment. You can run, but you can't hide, Devin, he calls out. He knows me, you think? He is specifically hunting you from in the maze, makes him seem more threatening. That and the wicked sharp claws on his hands. There won't be any slipping by him on the left unless you have something to distract him with. You think you'd be able to sneak off to the right before he turns around.
We have candy.
Or maybe you think you'd be able to sneak off to the right before he turns around. Or maybe you could just wait and hope he moves on without noticing you. We have candy, we're going to distract him. You reach into your pocket and pull out the package of Bonnie Bites you won from the cheeky candy crane machine. The candy is warm and mushy now, but you hope Monty isn't a picky eater. Incoming! You call as you throw the package at him. Monty snaps his jaws of the bag, catches it with his teeth. He chews. He mumbles. What on earth is? He tries to open his mouth, but it's cemented closed. He starts gagging and clawing at his snout. He pries open his jaw, and you can see sticky brown and purple goo sticking to his teeth. He reaches. That was my first thought, too. He reaches in to grab it, but one hand gets stuck inside. He manages to free his hand, but stumbles to the side to catch himself with his hand.
What the hell
And now
are
stuck to the
Bonnie Bites
wall.
made of?
Fazgoo. You can't help but laugh, and that makes Monty even angrier. "Ah!" He roars. Okay, get you! His tail thrashes and he swings his free arm wildly, grasping for you. If you're quick, you think you can slip past him and go down the left corridor, or you can still head right. You have a head start on him.
He was guarding that way for a reason.
Which way? Left or right?
He was guarding left for a reason.
Slip past him. Go left. Yes!
No spoilers.
Victory Screech! Thank you. Thank you. You trudge along, wondering if you'll ever find the exit. You enter a path leading off from the right. But remembering the maze's tricks, you peek around the corner and see that it leads back to one you've already been on. You move forward. Another choice to your left. You explore this, and soon it's a dead end. You turn back and hurry. Worrying Monty is on the corner, about to corner you. There are more scratches along the walls and shredded candy wrappers litter the floor. Then you reach your first fork intersection, 3 quarters in front of you, all moving forwards. You sigh and ask, "What do you think, Vip?" Vip has been dozing on screen, or pretending to. He makes a big show of waking up and blinks at you. "I think this attraction does not have much replay value. A recent data mine showed that Phantom Entertainment is considering repurposing Monty's Maze into something else. Maybe miniature golf. But what path should I take?" Also, that confirms that this is Monty Golf.
Yep.
100%. No shadow of a doubt.
So what currently exists as Monty Golf in this building is where Mazercise is.
Yeah. I do not have many options left. No, you do not have many options left. You choose the leftmost corridor and rush through it. At the end is a green door marked exit, but Monty is guarding it. "There you are!" he shouts. He leaps right and lands right in front of you. He draws his clawed hand back and offers his hand to you. When you stop quivering, you shake his gargantuan hand. "Rock and roll," he says. "You win!" At 300 points, we have 120,000 points and 0 fast tokens left.
Alright.
Going back.
We don't even need to loop Mo again.
So
I
where do we?
I guess we technically do, because we can't get to Rockstar Row from here, which is annoying.
One more Mo loop.
And let's go ahead and grab the Balloon Boy coin just in case we need another token.
Yeah. And investigate the doors.
Hold on. I haven't done it yet. Hold on. Calm down. Okay, before we do the doors, I'm going to make a save here.
Okay. At 469.
469. Alright, let's see the VIP door.
You stand outside the VIP greeting room's nondescript door and bang on it with your fist. Little pig, let me in! Didn't you have 100,000 points already? Vip asks on your gamepad. Why is he so nervous? "I sure do," you say. "Then there's no need to huff and puff," he sighs. "A deal's a deal." He walks off the gamepad screen and the door unlocks. You're in a server closet with racks of computer hard drives blinking and clicking and flashing and whirring, and in the center of all of it, a large screen hovers with Vip's face on it. So pigs do fly, you think. Is this some kind of Wizard of Oz thing, you ask? "What do you want?" Vip's little rotors buzz. He pulls up and away from you, bumping against the machine banks in the back of the small room. I wanted to meet you in person, or whatever this is. "Thank you, day, Devin. I will let I go now, of course." You bet you will. And this ends. You won't do this again." "Yes, I promise. You piggy promise doesn't mean any. Your piggy promise doesn't mean anything to me. You say. Please don't hurt me. Vip wails. His screen spins and he weaves around the room. You shut the door behind you before you can escape. You're not quite sure how to end this. There's no keyboard in here, and not that you know anything about computer programs. Maybe you can get something to smash Vip's screen with, but you've seen him all over screens in the Pizzaplex. It would be no more effective than destroying his gamepad. Glance down at the gamepad with another Vip. Even while he's frantically floating around your head, if you don't do something soon, he'll probably attack you, and it's only one Devon. The small Vip on the gamepad takes a step and somehow duplicates himself. It's starting to become pigception in here. Oh, you realize, these aren't very informative pigs. Those are virtual informative pigs. Because you're still in the mo. And they're pointing towards something along the wall. You walk with the gamepad and they adjust to where they're pointing. Oh my god, I'm having a hard time. As if you were holding a compass with the needle pointing north. What are you doing? The big Vip screams. Get away from there! His face starts to glitch. He catches a creepy glimpse of the wire frame behind his pigskin and glasses. The pigs, virtual informative pigs, your friends, are pointing at a massive power strip on the floor that has dozens of plugs on it. A tangle of cables. You snap your fingers. Of course! You trace the main power plug to a wall outlet.
A tangle of cables?
Tangle, you say? This won't erase you, you whisper to the virtual informative pigs. We don't know, they say. They seem delighted by the prospect of not knowing something. If we're part of a simulation, we may be running a separate program, one of them says. But Pig Brother is also part of the simulation. They confer with each other and look up. Everything is connected. What happens in here will affect the real world. You nod. Well then, thank you, and goodbye. You hope you won't meet any digital swine ever again. You yank the plug. Stop! The big Vip screen wheels towards you. Before you can knock it away, the plug comes free. The outlet sparks and sizzles like bacon in a frying pan. And flying screen drops and cracks in the tile floor. The snow dances across it and the gamepad screen. It's over, you say, and the world around you starts to deteriorate too. Reach up and tear off the Mo headset. Around you, everything is in chaos. In the atrium, every system seems to be down. Every screen is dark. Everything is connected. Now, if I said the word mimic, people scream and run for exits. You wonder if the animatronics have been affected by the force system shutdown. The photo booth door opens and Ike comes running out. He stands still in the commotion, looking around in fear. You hurry over to him. Ike! You grab him in your arms and Ike sobs. I'm sorry. Let's go home, Ike says. I have to do one more thing, you say. On your way out of the Pizzaplex, likely for the last time, stop at the security office and tell the gray-haired white guy there about what happened. The guard listened closely, nodding and taking notes. Well done, Devon, he says. And Ike, you don't know if it's not more worrying that he believed your outrageous story than if he had dismissed it as a prank or fantasy. I always thought that pig might be trouble intrusive.
Great. Very intrusive pig.
You couldn't agree more. Don't worry, Fazbear Entertainment will make all this go away like it never happened, he says. And if that especially includes Vip. This will be our little secret, okay? Huh? Okay. I don't think anyone else will believe me anyways. You look at Ike, especially Mom. Right, bro? Ike nods. When she asked us how her day was,
I'll just say it was very informative. And that's the truth. The end. True ending.
Alright, who's the old white guy?
William Afton. I don't know if you just heard what I said.
I'm scared it's Michael.
I said William
I
Afton.
know. I'm scared it's Michael.
I don't think it's Michael.
He's supposed to be dead. But
They said white guy, not purple guy.
Yeah, he's white again.
How'd he get his white back?
Remnant?
Hold on.
Yeah.
Michael Afton.
But anyway. We have a old security guard that is very easily accepting of wacky, evil animatronic stories. That's not an exclusively Michael trait, it's just...
Phone guy. It's phone guy, guys. It's phone... No, I'm joking.
We already said William Afton.
I'll kill you.
Kill
I'll make it look like a
Tom,
bloody
please.
accident. But anyways, that was VIP. We got 2 of the endings.
That was kind of fun, actually.
I enjoy.
Are we gonna see what happens if we go to Bonnie Bowl instead of putting him on the carousel?
I thought we were gonna do that tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, just another time off
hadn't-
stream.
We hadn't decided if we were doing that part off stream.
Well, I'm getting tired.
Okay, then yeah, we can do that off stream.
I've been up for a while, and I have to be up by at least 12 p.m. tomorrow.
We've been up for the same time.
Don't remind me that I have a somewhat normalized sleep schedule now. Anyways, chat, that's it for today. Tomorrow, Fortnite. There will be a Fortnite stream on my channel for the first time in 2 years.
We don't know that yet.
You know what, you little shit? Actually, also, that's a lie. I did a Fortnite stream last year whenever I started streaming again. I think?
Yeah, in November.
Yeah.
There were a lot of times after, like, I would go to sleep, you would continue with Fortnite.
Yeah. Sometimes I did Destiny.
Anyway.